ballot. Hey everyone, welcome back to another live ranking show here on the Cats and Rats YouTube channel. I'm your host, Kirby Lupo, joined alongside, as always, my co-host, Cody Stevens and Nick Levine. We've got a couple special guests here today. One familiar face, one not so familiar face. Vincent Scheib back with us here, who joined us here this summer and during the July 1st free agent, not so much frenzy. And then a familiar face in our, or I should say voice in our community, D'Lo here joining us today, making his debut performance here on the Cats and Rats live stream channel. How's it going, gentlemen?
Great to be here.
Awesome. You guys have been studying these GM rankings for a bit here, but before we do get started, Cody, Nick, we do want to give a shout out. I don't think we have anything on our soundboard there, but we are to 1,000 subscribers.
Hey, Nick, take your 30 seconds to cue the goalie. But some way, somehow, we've made it to 1,000 subscribers, baby.
Already. We thought about, here, maybe the Olympic break, getting a lot of those live streams going, but we're there now, gentlemen. So we have a lot of giveaways to announce a little bit later on, some winners, future giveaways as well.
Yeah. And once again, we appreciate you guys for 1,000 subscribers. It's actually crazy how quickly, because like 2 months ago, we were like, what, 450?
Yeah, playoffs helps having a winning hockey team, as we say,
Yeah. But hey, but once again, we appreciate everyone here, everyone watching, anyone who's watched us in the past, like, subscribed, everything. It's been a crazy ride, honestly. Interviewing people I never thought I'd get to talk to.
Yep.
And now
got a special guest maybe on the way as well, Nick.
Hey, once again, shout out our boy Big C's. Once again, another big part of our community.
Yes, make sure to follow him down below there.
Yeah, get him. Go subscribe to the Big C show. I think he's close to 1,000.
Yep.
He's a guy that puts in a lot of work behind hours, and he has a pretty good interview coming up soon. Stay tuned for that.
Right. You guys wait to see who C's has for that. So,
but anyway, we are now going to be tier ranking the all 32 GMs in the NHL. We're going to try, I'm going to do it based off of, at least for me, I'm not sure about the other guys, like mainly if they have been a GM on another team before and they're on a new team currently, I'm going to do my best to judge them on the team they are with currently.
Mm-hmm. Or the job they've done recently. So you have like a lot of longer tenure GMs.
Now you can't use that 3 to 5 year sample size. We talked about these players as the 1 to 3. We can push that ahead to 5, and we're going to get into some names with Vince and D'Lo here. That's too early to tell. They're brand new.
It's not always like results based. There's a lot of GMs who've done a nice job for retooling or rebuilding teams. We're kind of in the middle of that plan, who so far have done a nice job. So.
But I'm going to be hard on some of these rebuilding GMs if they had opportunities.
I already know one.
If they had opportunities.
Yeah,
I know 2 guys Kirby's going to get on in this episode.
I know there's another one, but he's going to be higher up there because.
And Vince, I know you love prospects, but it's potential. Last week I got yelled at for putting Matthew Nyes too high for potential. So I don't care if these GMs have potential with these draft picks.
Oh, now you don't care about potential. Thank you.
So for everybody saying, Kirby watched one highlight of Kirill Marchenko and said, hey, he's pretty damn good, guys. So if you know what we're talking about.
I need to watch some film on him. Pretty dang good. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I drafted him in fantasy back-to-back years for a reason here.
But he reminds me of Alex Tuck and Mason Marchment.
Alex Tuck. Mason Marchment's a little whatever.
He moves like him.
Yeah, but Marchment can't do what Ed Toulouse-Ryan does. But anyway, I think this is going to be the tier maker that we kind of agree on the most. I think all of us have kind of like the same pulse around these GMs.
Yeah, I could see that.
I already have 3 trash can names in mind.
So Only 3?
That's
Cody's so quick to bring that out.
Off the top of my head.
I don't even know if I wrote
His hand's probably on it right now.
But
now, shout out to the content creators out there that did these GM lists, but we're going to do a lot better than them. I watched some of these videos. Did not help me too much.
But anyway,
Kirby.
The categories go as follows. We have top 3 elite, above average, mid, below mid, FSU Trash Can, And since we're doing GMs, we have the too early to tell category. First off, let's get one thing out the way here.
Yes.
There he is. The best GM in the NHL.
Thank you for doing that off the bat.
Cody, if
We're
you didn't
spreading
do
with riots if we
do that immediately, you would have lost half of the 1K subscribers that you just got to.
Yeah, because we got yelled at for
including
not
me.
putting Bennett in the elite category a couple weeks ago. So, but it's
Number one, and it's not even close. Oh, actually, no, Cody, you got to put Jim Nill ahead of him. Actually.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
No.
Is Jim Nill's name at the bottom of the screen there?
No, you got to put a Jim Gregory award. There you go, because that's what everybody's saying. So flip that thing around. Come on. Here's Jim Nill.
It's Jim Gregory. It's this.
You're gonna summon a demon doing that. Come on.
That
stop.
right side was just atrocious. I don't know how that went to.
But I think those two guys are the best in the league.
D'Lo, Vince, you guys have a say on number 2? Because everyone's like, "Oh, you have a number 2 already, Kirby." I'm like, "Yeah, I think that's my 1 and 2."
Yeah, it wasn't automatic for me, gentlemen, but he, I guess, edged out the 2 or 3 names that I have for.
Okay, we can move guys
third.
around.
So
we can move guys around if you can make everyone kind of be on your side of the argument.
I'm going to segue to Vince here, but the reason why I think Jim Nill's the second best GM in the league, he's probably the best drafter in the league, if we're going to be honest here.
He had 2 retools to continue the team forward.
Vince, take it away. I mean, we're talking.
Yeah. Let's be honest. I think these were kind of the 2 layups. I mean, Zito and Nill, I don't think you would argue are 2 of the best 3 GMs in the league. I think you definitely probably could and should put Zito ahead of Nill, but Jim Nill's obviously earned a lot of recognition, and some of it rightfully so. He's been in Dallas a long time. He was there 12 years before that. He was in Detroit, and one of his key right-hand men, and Joe McDonnell, came with him from Detroit to Dallas. And when I look at it, I'll be honest, I know there's the narrative of Detroit fell apart when Steve Yzerman left for Tampa Bay. I think it actually was when Jim Nill left for Dallas and took Joe McDonnell with him. Because if you look at the Red Wings drafts, right after Yzerman left to right when Nill left, so 2010 to 2013, they still were picking a few guys that ended up having long NHL careers. And then once Nill left, it was nothing until they brought Yzerman back. Outside of Dylan Larkin, but he was a first rounder. Ken Holland's drafting from 2014 to 2018 was very bad. And one of the reasons is Nill and McDonnell, who were his kind of drafting gurus, they went to Dallas. And we see it in the work that Dallas has done. I honestly think Nill's best move in recent years was the Wyatt Johnston pick, which at the time was a gamble because he hadn't played at all, because the OHL had completely canceled the 2020-21 season. So no one was really sure what Wyatt Johnston was going to turn into, and he turned into a pretty damn good top 6 forward. I think the Dumba signing does probably rank as his worst move in recent years. Everyone knows Matt Dumba is washed. Everyone knows Matt Dumba's not good anymore. He's a guy who needed to put up points. He doesn't put up points anymore. So, you give him $3.75 million a year, and 1 year later you're like, yeah, this stinks. I got to get rid of it. Yeah, buyer's remorse is a thing, and even the best sometimes have it.
I'm having a tough time figuring out the third for the top.
I could tell you who's number 3. It's Kelly McCrimmon and
that's what I was thinking.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
I was leaning towards that.
Him and George McPhee, right?
McPhee's president of hockey ops.
Now he's president of hockey operations. But ever since they come into the league, I mean, obviously they didn't really do anything on the amateur scouting side. Complete opposite of what Dallas did when it comes to homegrown talent.
But they're following the Florida blueprint, Nick.
Well, Florida followed their blueprint.
They did it first, Kirby.
You take a look at the pro scouting: Jonathan Marchessault, William Karlsson, Riley Smith, Shea Theodore. Numerous, the original misfits, what they called them, but guys like Shea Theodore, Marchessault, William Karlsson becoming key figures there from the expansion draft. Then you take a look; they've maintained an aggressive pursuit of talent throughout the years, whether it have been Max Pacioretty or some other players. You've taken a look at the last couple of years, Mitch Marner, Jack Eichel, Noah Hannafin, Tomas Hertl to alleviate the loss of Chandler Stevenson. So the best pro scouting department, well, now second best in my opinion, but for a while they were the Florida Panthers, and now people say we're the new Vegas Golden Knights, we're the new Tampa Bay Lightning. The pro scouting of Vegas, and you take a look at the guts, some of the moves they made. Vince, we were talking about it the other day, how Marner coming to Vegas, they were kind of maybe taking a risk on, like playing for a coach like Cassidy, who doesn't really, he has a short leash when it comes to certain things, when it comes to effort. Think of times like where like Jake DeBrusk, a talented player in Boston, he had some situations with him, problems with him. But you take a look, Jack Eichel was also a player like that when he was in Buffalo. There was talk of him being a problem or him having an effort problem. So you take a look, McCrimmon's put together consistently a top 5 roster in the NHL. They've done so with virtually none, or actually I don't think any homegrown talent. I think the only player I think they drafted themselves was Nick Hague, and he's now gone. So
did they draft Pavel Dorofeyev?
And Pavel Dorofeyev.
Yeah.
But you take a look, it's a top 3 to 5 roster in the NHL. They maintain the fact that you're sitting here as a Vegas fan and you're still contending 7, 8 years after that expansion draft. Like, they're the class of the league up there with a number of other teams. I think McCrimmon is easily number 3. And then I think after that, you start to really separate yourself, especially with how some other GMs on good teams, Kirby, we're going to talk about this. So I want to know.
Do you think there's a separation from 3 to 5 there, Nick? Or
3 to 4 to 5? I mean, I think you could, if I could talk about this guy now, Julien Brisebois.
That's the guy I was going to mention.
The problem with him is, number one, he inherited a lot of that talent, but you got to give him credit for making some of the moves that put them over the hump, right? And I think over the last couple of years, the moves haven't worked out. We've talked a lot about this summer, how Tampa Bay kind of got screwed over by this timing of the COVID cap halt, where I think there was a comment earlier in the summer saying the Florida Panthers are doing what the Tampa Bay Lightning always wanted to do. They wanted to keep everybody, but the cap didn't permit that because of the COVID-19 pandemic. You take a look at some moves, and more recently with Julien Brisebois, obviously we have the Brandon Hagel one, which is probably his best move as Lightning GM, and it hasn't even resulted in a Stanley Cup, which is kind of the odd part. But they were very, very similar to what Florida and Vegas have been.
And Cody wanted to speak on Brisebois as well.
An aggressive GM who spent, sometimes people would roll their eyes at it, like the Barclay Goodrow trade and the David Savard trade, that really, when they shipped off first-round picks, got a lot of head scratches. Like, he's not worth a first-round pick.
Blake Coleman on that list too, by the way.
Blake Coleman.
But you're getting up to the cap crunch. That's coming out of COVID.
That's coming out of COVID and everything, but he does deserve credit for that. And I was thinking about this actually earlier today. I'm like, the last couple years have been rough for him, and I'm wondering, like, that Tanner Jeannot move really set them back, because they thought they were getting a 20, 25, maybe even 30 goal scorer who's a physical player, could play anywhere in their top 6 and kind of evens out their top 9. It completely backfired on them. And that's a move.
I think what they were thinking is they got a natural Killorn replacement with,
and it was not that.
Jeannot, and it didn't happen.
And here's the thing.
That's a failure on their pro scout.
Here's the thing. That's not even his worst move.
Well, that move, in my opinion, that's a move that usually works for the Lightning in 2020, 2021, 2022. It completely falls apart in 2023. So I think that just kind of goes to show how the cap, they've gotten screwed over by the cap a little bit, but they haven't done as nearly a good job as replacing those guys, whether it be in the system or through pro scouting.
Listen,
So,
because
Cody, what's his worst move if it's not the Jeannot trade? I
it's
think I
the
know where you're going.
Sergachev trade.
That's what I was thinking you were
It's
going
the
with.
Sergachev trade. It shut their window shut. Their window is closed until they find that replacement, and it's going to be damn hard to find.
That made no sense when they made it, because
It never made any sense.
that guy was for that window.
Because that's why I'm like, I don't like the guy, because that made zero sense to me. Because you trade Mikhail Sergachev, who is a number 1 defenseman in this league. They had a luxury very few teams had. Maybe one other team has, and that's Dallas. where you had 2 number 1 defensemen on the roster.
And it's not too much pressure on Hedman if you keep him there.
Yeah, and then you re-sign Hedman, and now you have to wear the tires off of them.
Yeah.
And just to make it. And
Sergachev was a perfect player, Cody, for Florida and Toronto matchups.
Yeah, and he brings in that fire and that physicality that not a lot of defensemen do.
He gives you everything.
And
I think Dave just
he had
named
something
something Mikhail
left in the tank.
Sergachev doesn't give you.
he's lost some of that touch. Obviously, a move that kind of backfired on them with Mikhail Sergachev. I understood the approach they were trying to do. Maybe get a little bit. I get it. You're like, how can you get better removing Mikhail Sergachev out of the top?
I don't know. That felt like off.
They were hoping for extra forward depth. They were hoping that Connor Geekie probably would have been a little bit better by now.
And they were hoping that with McDonough and Mosier, the top four kind of gets rounded out a lot better.
But you traded the wrong guy.
Well, I agree.
I don't think anyone wanted Chernak, though. That was the problem.
I don't think anybody would want Chernak.
But if you're trying to get McDonough, get rid of an asset to go get rid of that contract. It really doesn't matter.
And D'Lo, you talked about the pro scouting, guys like Yzerman and some of the other guys, Connor Geekie. They haven't had success with those buy low options as much as they or like guys that they've had to bring up. Like I know Syracuse, they talked a lot about like Ross Colton, even other guys that have come up. They haven't had that anymore.
Yeah, which I maybe Vincent could speak to the recent drafting history of Brisebois and his staff, but it doesn't seem like they are finding those diamonds in the rough as much as they were before. Maybe
that's Yzerman.
Yeah. What's interesting is like you talk about their pro scouting, you don't even mention who I thought probably was the most egregious example of them getting a guy that didn't work, and that was Connor Sherry. I mean,
yes,
that to me was the biggest flop they had. Because Yzerman I thought was all right. Connor Geekie, he's young. He hasn't really progressed that much, I think, as much as they wanted. But they got Connor Sherry thinking he was going to be help in terms of scoring depth, and he wasn't. Like he was just so much of a flop.
And I think you take a look at that, like Kirby, we've talked about like some of Zito's approach when we were in a tight cap situation. He hasn't had as much success, like when it comes to the Colin Whites, the Rudolph Balsers, some of the other guys. You often say when Zito strikes out, it's usually on the buy low guys at this point in his tenure. Same thing kind of goes for Brisebois here. I think when you take a look at how are they going to fill the holes of Ross Colton and Alex Killorn and Andre Palat, how are they going to fill that out? Well, they have the talent up top. We know that. They were going to fill it out with Connor Sheary's and Tanner Jeannot's and Mikey Yzerman's coming in and improving their role. They don't need to be phenomenal players. They need to carve out a role. They thought Jeannot, and many people did at the time, 20-25 goal scorer. You take a look at Connor Sheary. Vince, you talked about a guy that played with Sidney Crosby before going to Tampa Bay. They think putting him with Nikita Kucherov, he could provide some scoring pop there. And then take a look at Mikey Yzerman. I think they were kind of thinking of a third line, 25, 30-point checking role player there. Bringing Brandon Hagel as well, Nick Paul. They kind of feel that top nine is different, but it fills the void that the other guys lost. Yeah. It's completely flopped. And that's why Tampa's taken a nosedive these last 3 years. They're 3 straight first-round exits. We talk a lot about like how Pittsburgh, they haven't won a round since 2018 or whatever, or Washington up until this year hadn't won a round since they won the Stanley Cup. That's starting to become what the Tampa Bay Lightning have been.
I can see that in their future. Yeah,
The thing is, I think honestly, what Tampa Bay needs is kind of a reset year. Like they kind of had that in 15-16 when Stamkos blew his knee out and they missed the playoffs. It allowed them to kind of experiment, to toy with stuff, and say, okay, Drouin isn't the guy. Let's get him out. Nemesnikov isn't really going to work out. Let's start moving him along. We can transition from Bishop to Vasilevsky and that sort of thing. And it allowed them to kind of change the guard naturally. Now, I'm not here to besmirch the name of Al Murray, who's their director of amateur scouting, one of the best scouts in the game. I've also got to meet the guy. He's one of the nicest people you can meet.
That's why you're talking him up. I may want to
But
job.
I mean,
well, he could speak, he met him. You could say
I met him. I was able to pick his brain for a bit.
I got you. I'm there with you, Vincent.
Tampa Bay's scouting, it's not been awful. It's just they haven't really had the picks, and they're just not getting the same hits that they used to.
Right.
Now,
And-
does that mean that some of the guys they drafted, like Ethan Gauthier, who tore it up at the Q, Ethan Sada, who I liked coming in this year, or even like Hagen Burrows, who was one of the guys I really liked last year, does that mean they're all going to flop? No, but they need some of these guys to actually start emerging again.
And I don't think
if I were them, I think you kind of start looking more at, okay, what are we doing scouting wise? What are we doing development wise? And how do we get some of these young guys up? Because we kind of need to try and fix this thing on the fly.
And if I could just say, number one, what I would say is they can't really take the big swings at those guys for first-round picks that they used to, because number one, they're just not as good as they used to be. So the guys like Bjorkstrand and Yanni Gord, hey, the Kings ransomed for them, but it doesn't get the job done as much anymore. And I think that's part of the problem. They can't take the risk they used to. The depth and some of the other parts. I honestly think I don't really think they need any top-end talent. I think they need a complementary top six forward. I think Bjorkstrand does that. I think, number one, they need a Sergachev-type piece. They need to find that replacement. They shouldn't have to, but they need to.
Their back end's their biggest issue. It ain't the forwards. It's the back end.
And I think that when you take a look at the top nine, like Cody, I think they got some players they are finally starting to find to fill in those forward voids.
Yeah, Gonçalves looked good. I mean,
Gonçalves looked good.
I think Connor Geeky.
He's still undercooked to me. Like,
Who?
Geeky. I think he's still like a year.
I think he's a player.
But I think they're going to come in the next year.
I think he can be a good player. Not right now.
I think they come in the next year.
I think people look at Geeky, they look at the size, and they're like, how is this guy not better or more ready than he is? When he's still only 21.
He's gotten by on his size.
And then,
that's a problem that sometimes you see with guys in juniors where they're able to just dominate just because they're so much bigger than everyone. But then they come to the pros where everyone knows how to use their body, and they're not really able to do it. I mean,
that's why scouting comes in and kind of determining what the whole.
Yeah. I mean, this past year was Geeky's first full year in the pros. He had 14 points in 52 games.
That ain't good.
And
like when they got him, he hadn't even turned pro yet.
All right, it's D'Lo. We also talked about the Isaac Howard thing too. Having to move him to Edmonton. So, they've had, I mean, it's just kind of been a very rough 3 years for them. A lot of things haven't gone right. Whether it had been the circumstances with the cap, their pro scouting, things just haven't worked out. But I do think he does deserve credit for getting Tampa Bay over the hunch that he has made some good moves. And he's made some bad ones. But I do think if you're a two-time Stanley Cup champ, if he made the moves, and I get it, he wasn't the mastermind behind that whole roster, but he did take that group to the next level.
But the one he can't. Sorry.
Go ahead, go ahead, Dila. You good?
I was just gonna say he can't make Kucherov score a goal.
Well, I mean, he can't make Kucherov a leader, which is what they need him to be, and he's not that.
He's definitely not that.
Like,
I think we should move along here, gentlemen. I was expecting this monologue for another
for somebody else.
And I was supposed to talk on him, and Nick just took him away from me.
Well, I hijacked. I was going to talk about.
And even on the Isaac Howard thing, Sam O'Reilly, I think, is a decent center prospect. So at least I didn't get completely robbed. So,
and also
where the separation is, maybe moving from now.
And last thing, don't like what he's doing with the backup goaltender thing. He's just making Vasi play 60 games a year. And that's another thing I think's like on the detriment to him. But we're going to start going in order here. First up, Columbus Blue Jackets General Manager Don Waddell. I think Don is an above average for me.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Not exactly elite.
He did nice work in Carolina, but I also think what he's done in Columbus, first year, they had a really good year. I think the accumulation of young talent they have, although not all through him, I don't think he's really had to do too much in Columbus. This is going to be a pretty interesting year for them. Signs some big contracts, questionable contracts. Ivan Provorov re-signed there for, I think, about $8 million.
Think about that.
So, I mean, again, he hasn't done a whole lot. His fingerprints aren't really on the team outside of the coaching staff, which I really liked his coaching hire. I think he made some savvy moves, like the Dante Fabro pickup from last year was quite good, a guy I wanted.
So I to move him down this tier list as we go along, or even
I think you have to really look at his Carolina thing, because Columbus has been one of the most inactive teams. You take a look at the last trade deadline; they only acquired.
They tried, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah, it didn't
they gave Provorov 8.5. By the way,
Yeah. So
And
But-
they kind of some people panned the Charlie Coyle and Miles Wood trade to Columbus a little bit.
I actually
'cause
like Charlie Coyle.
I
for
like
them.
them both for
I like
Columbus.
Coyle
honestly,
quite a bit, and then
not the
Wood,
money necessarily, but
Yeah, but they had a lot to spend.
they do.
I mean, a
They do.
lot.
And that's one of the
Yeah.
interesting things. A
They
lot
still
of
have
these
$16 million.
GMs,
So
you have the complete opposite this year, where the past couple of years, Kirby, we talked about this. GMs were right at the cap because of the COVID cap. Now, the post-COVID cap era, you have all these GMs with tons of cap space that don't want to waste that money or overpay for players. So, I mean, it's the complete opposite, and that should make for a lot of interesting early season transactions and trade deadline acquisitions.
Yeah, they got to be a trade partner, Columbus.
Because now you're taking a look, like Toronto's a prime example for a team, contending team that was always up against the cap. Now they have a ton of money. So we'll see. But I think Don Waddell, this should be an interesting year. I don't really know what to expect from Columbus. He's only been there for about a year, right?
Yeah,
It's a year.
last year was his first season. I want to make a comment on that. I do think we should give him a decent bit of credit because that's a very difficult situation that Columbus went through, obviously. With the passing of Johnny Gaudreau, very unexpected and very tragic.
Well, yeah, I think his
and
experience with
then they got Sean
Atlanta
Monahan
helped with
because
that.
the idea was he was going to play with Johnny Gaudreau. I mean, Monahan had a pretty good year for
I
Columbus.
forgot he was
We'll
the
say
GM
that.
in Atlanta.
Go ahead,
yeah, the
Vito.
situation.
Yeah, with
his
Atlanta,
experience
with
with Danny Heatley's and his teammate Dan Snyder passing away.
Yeah.
when Waddell was the
I
GM
forgot
for
about that.
and that probably helped him.
Yeah,
I imagine it did.
Yeah, but the thing is with Waddell in like his Carolina GM, his Carolina tenure, I don't know how much. I think he was handicapped quite a bit by that owner. I really do.
Oh, by the Carolina owner? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah.
If ownership doesn't want to spend, then then the team's not going to spend.
But Kirby,
There's another guy on here who I think
firsthand.
gets handicapped by his owner too, but we're going to get to him.
Look,
I'm sure.
Kirby, what were you going to say on Waddell?
No, I'm good.
All right. Next up here, we have Kent Hughes. I'm at the lower end of elite towards above average.
Oh, I like that. We're going to have D'Lo.
If you could have gotten two pictures for this one,
too.
I think you should have, because it's Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon obviously does have a lot to say. Hughes is just kind of I don't want to say he's just the French-speaking frontman because it is Montreal, but
we'll let D'Lo go here. He's got some stuff.
Well, just briefly, obviously the big move this offseason with the Dobson trade and underrated move to get Bolduc as well from St. Louis.
Big fan.
I don't know how many other GMs on the list are former agents, but Kent Hughes as a former agent, the same school as Zito, and coming up through that way, I think it brings a unique perspective to the position that I don't know who the first agent was that was hired as a general manager, but I think if they're smart enough, obviously, and willing enough they seem to have big cojones to make certain types of moves, and I think Hughes has certainly done that since he got there.
Yeah,
including drafting Slafkovsky, whether that was the right move or not. It took certain courage to do something like that.
I don't think.
I agree, but I'm just saying that the courage that took to do,
and I think he's displayed good tendencies and good success in multiple different phases of his team. When they were rebuilding, the drafting and development part of it, Lane Hudson, all these other pieces.
Patience with the head coach.
Patience with the head coach. Now you're starting to see them turn into not just a bubble playoff team, into more of a younger threat contending playoff team, where now it goes from patience, development, and drafting to calculated risk. And
they made that jump this year that a lot of teams.
And a lot of times you see GMs come into certain situations, whether they just rebuild. You talk about Dale Talon, he comes in, rebuilds Chicago, gets let go, and then Stan Bowman comes in, wins. Or like Yzerman and Briere, whatever. Kent Hughes, and I'm not saying it's this far yet, he's come into a pretty bad situation at the time when he came into Montreal, drafted and accumulated a lot of young talent, and now he's leading and I think he's doing a pretty good job being the GM of a contending team. I think he showcased success in both the rebuilding phase and the contending phase. And I think they're going to be a force in the Atlantic for years to come. I think, they're going to be the Panthers' biggest threat. Realistically, I don't think that Toronto and Tampa are as much anymore. I think it's going to be Montreal. And I think Kent Hughes, take a look at the job he's done from all phases that Montreal has went through and what they're going to go through. I think it's very impressive.
Yeah, the thing is with Hughes and why I'm like at lower end of elite to above average is
I'm with you there, Cody. We can move him.
Is because he's rebuilding, and now this is where the true work comes in.
He's getting all the.
And I think he's had an excellent offseason. Bolduc and Noah Dobson,
the Dobson one I still question.
I'm not a huge fan.
I still question the Dobson just because of Hudson.
You're not a huge fan of who, Nick?
I didn't say I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm skeptical of the fit when it comes to Dobson because of Hudson. I agree. But I do appreciate the willingness to go out and make decisions. A lot of times you see, and we're going to talk about GMs, they have talent. They have the core. They don't go make the big move. It's just, another year. They went out and made the moves. I know, Kirby, you don't love Patrick Laine. That ended up being a relatively smart move for where they were at last year. They might need to pivot now this year. But I think Kent Hughes has done a nice job in a relatively short amount of time when it comes to patience with the head coach, development, draft and talent accumulation.
Not rushing kids. I don't think.
Not rushing anything. And now he's gone out and he's made a big trade for Noah Dobson. He's made, he traded Logan Mailloux for Bolduc. So he's making moves now as we're a playoff team.
And I think start to get rid of. I've talked to Vince about this offer. Those stopgap guys in Matheson. You can start to move on from those guys.
Right, and that's when you start to accumulate, and that's when your team kind of starts to round into better form, like whether it be through draft picks,
core,
or ammo to turn into something else. Right? They need a number 2 center. Sidney Crosby, Nazem Kadri are options, obviously, that have been rumored. So
I think they would have been on Tavares too if he was available.
You guys also haven't mentioned something really important. They haven't even gotten a full season of Ivan Demidov yet, and they're already a playoff
team.
I'm
not high on him, to be honest with you. I really am not.
I don't know if we'll take to it right away, but I think Demidov's going to be a star.
I think he's better than Michkov.
Speaking of Michkov, his GM is up next.
Next up, we have Danny Briere, and I have I'm like mid.
I would be below mid, maybe, when we get all these guys.
I don't know.
Here's the thing.
Coaching, goaltending.
He came in, was keeping John Tortorella.
Which was
with the expectation, look, you take a look at when he came in, they sucked. The mid. They sucked. They needed young talent. They needed a rebuild. And then they overperformed that year. And they got like a 14th, 15th overall pick. And who did they take?
13. 13, they took Luchenko.
Then the following year, they completely fell back down to realistic expectations. They go and get Matvei Michkov. Great. This year, who did they take, Vince?
Florida Martone
at 6, and then they traded up to take Jack Nesbitt at 12, which I had a stroke when that happened. I might have been on the phone with Cody when that happened. I had a stroke when that trade went down.
I was funny.
And I think you take a look. They are starting to do what they needed to do. Accumulation of young, high-end talent. Porter Martone, Matvei Michkov.
They traded Lawton for Nikita Grabenkin and a first from Toronto.
So they're doing that part. They're also hiring Rick Tocchet and signing Christian Dvorak and Dan Vladar, which to me signals what are you doing? Are you going to a retool? Are you rebuilding? Are you shooting for maybe a playoff set? What are you doing?
Because they traded for Zegras too. Don't forget that. Next.
Traded for Zegras. I don't love Trevor Zegras as a player, but I think again, young talent accumulation is needed. But
I
still
they paid. I'd take that for Zegras too.
But I still think, what are the expectations there with him? If the next year or two they're able to get another top 5, top 10 pick and accumulate more young talent and maybe go out and get a big fish in free agency, then I think that retool works out well. The problem is I think the current team they have now is, number one, too good to get a top 8, top 10 pick. I think it's going to be in the 10 to 15 range. And number two, I don't think the talent they've accumulated, Vince, is good enough for long-term winning. I think they need another year or 2 or 3 of really committing to this. And
But-
I think they're getting impatient with it again. They haven't committed to it in the last 15 years.
I'll be honest. I think, that 23-24 year would have been a good year to bottom out. I mean, that draft in terms of what was at the top compared to this year, so much stronger. It's such a better draft in 24 than this year.
Yeah, but
do we knock Torts the Torts higher?
No,
give
I
him
don't.
A little bit for a rebuilding team.
Yeah,
I
but
agree, D'Lo. And it's
but-
like, what does it signal? Because are they still rebuilding? Because if they are, Rick Tocchet doesn't make any
But
sense.
here,
I don't think Rick Tocchet and Zegras make any sense.
I agree with that
Yeah,
too.
But
that's
here's-
one to watch.
here's what they're trying to go for. They're trying to go for hard to play against, stuff like that, and be Philly. And the thing is like,
But Tocchett's going to be putting his head through the wall like he was a bit last year.
we'll see. I mean, they're paying him to do it, so
Like, why did Arizona get rid of Rick Tocchet? Because he was too good of a coach for a mid team, and they wanted to commit to a long-term rebuild to make themselves a winning franchise in the long term. Now, again,
That he wasn't Bill Armstrong's guy.
but
you got to
Philly,
give Tocchet time.
but Philly, I feel like wants to lay the foundation of a culture and being hard and like hard to play against.
Yeah, you
That's-
know who else wanted to do that? Barry Trotz in frickin' Nashville.
Yeah,
And look how
but-
that's working out.
But
now.
the thing is,
We'll
Philly
get to
is,
him.
Well,
But here's the thing. But here's why I'm not
Maybe
like
hard.
hard on Briere, because the contracts he gave to work like 5.4, which is a little bit crazy. And Vladar
year.
got what, 2 years?
3, I think.
But
3,
Cody,
2 years?
are you committing to being
Check
mid, or are you
tape.
committing to a rebuild retool?
Well, they needed to
Because-
do something. What they had in goal was putrid.
I don't disagree fully, but what is their
2
plan?
years. 2 years for Vladar.
Again, I think I think he's mid, maybe slightly above average, but I'm not really sure what the vision is in
I
Philadelphia.
might have a mid to below.
I
I
mean,
lean more towards mid.
Kirby, we talked about like Philadelphia.
I'm
One of the reasons, and Vince, one of the most common complaints from Philadelphia Flyer fans are they don't commit to a rebuild. They don't have the talent to win, but they continue acting in terms of trades and signings they make like they do, and then they bottom out. They're mid, whatever, and they never win.
You know, one of the things I was actually telling my wife today that the Philadelphia Flyers are owned by a gigantic corporation, and you know the way they do business is not the way we are used to
Yeah.
necessarily. Around hockey at least.
Right.
Yeah, but it's
So there might be certain requirements that are being made of Danny Briere. Sorry to interrupt you, Cody.
no, you
That don't maybe fit like what Zito's
But-
expectations were set by ownership over here. And
And
Okay.
D'Lo, I
Squad,
think
cetera.
that's detrimental to them long term because
absolutely.
they're going to get into the same problem they were stuck in the mid to late 2010s. They're going to have some talent. They're going to be a mid good playoff team, maybe on and off years sometimes, and they're never going to be able to get over the hump.
Just
And they're going
constant
to waste
mid-miss.
talent.
yeah.
Yeah, and you're going to waste talent. And I think they're repeating the same mistake.
But the thing is, with the market they're in doesn't accept rebuilds at all.
Well, I mean,
And-
you're gonna have to go
thing.
through
And
it.
I think they also looked at what the 76ers did, bottom out 3-4 years in a row, and come up with nothing. Like committing to a full rebuild doesn't guarantee you're going to go back there.
No, but neither does staying mid.
But the thing is, like, they've always been like that, and they rather be a scrappy team that somehow squeaks in because. And really, the thing is, the Couturier injury and the Carter Hart situation with Hockey Canada really screwed them. That really, kind of threw them off track for a bit. It's like because Hart, your franchise goal with the guy you thought would be your franchise goalie, is gone with like this whole scandal or whatever comments there. I'm just gonna leave it there. And then the Couturier back injury, a guy that is supposed to be a perennial Selke candidate, 1C. Just deteriorates right in front of your eyes, and you're stuck with nothing. The one guy I think they have left that I really like is Konechny.
And again, I think a good player, and I hate to keep using this word, mid. It's the same Philadelphia Flyer method that has been exercised. That was the same thing before Briere got hired. It was they're not good enough to be a contender, but they're not bad enough to rebuild.
To your point, Nick, all it takes is the commitment with from the top down, from ownership, GM,
People
coach,
hate it.
players.
Still,
You
the
gotta
players
sell
do.
everything out for the whole point is to win. If that's
And,
your
and
goal.
here's I don't
If
even
it's just to break even
Players-
or have a 5% growth of profit from year to year,
Yep.
that's different. It's not winning.
the goal is
It's
to
just
win a
making little
Stanley
bit more.
Cup. The goal is
Right.
to win a Stanley
Well,
Cup.
what does
And
that
you
take?
have
Everything.
to do where your team's at right now. You have to do what you feel necessary is going to put your team in the best position to win a Stanley Cup throughout your tenure. And I don't think they need to do a full, complete sale. Like, I
don't
think
think
they
so.
have players there. You're 2-3 bad years away from really having this boatload of young talent, and you have guys to trade. Travis Sanheim, Travis Konechny. You have guys there. Build on that. Build on Mitch Cobb. Build on Porter Martone. Do it. Because if they don't,
I-
you're just going to waste
They have to commit to it.
I think that's
basically.
what they're.
If that's what they're
I
doing.
think that's what they're doing because the Lawton trade kind of told me that last year. They're just playing it year to year. If they have a chance to make the playoffs, they're going to go do it.
Yeah.
Well,
The thing with the Flyers that you have to talk about is for years, even though they're not owned by Ed Snyder and his family anymore, obviously, they still operate under that ethos. And one of Ed Snyder's big things was we never make moves to deliberately get worse. We only try and get better.
And they did a lot of times.
Yeah. So
Yeah. The problem is in this day and age,
you need to get worse to get better.
sometimes you do need to get worse to get better. Yeah.
And Vince, I think if they were to commit, if they were to sell off Konechny and Sanheim and some of these other pieces and really commit, in 2-3 years, you're looking at them with a lot of young talent, a lot of money, maybe to go spend, and the bad stuff's behind you.
But,
So
Yeah,
that's
I think you're probably right. I mean, granted, Konechny and Couturier are on long-term deals. Like, I don't know how easy those would be to move.
well, I think Konechny would be.
Konechny, maybe, yeah.
Wait, 7, I think.
Yeah,
Konechny
and I
is
think
8.75.
and I think you
Oh.
can get a pretty good return for that. So
You probably could, yeah. I mean, on the back end, we've heard rumors about Ristolainen. Obviously, people who know me and have talked to me know that one of my huge gripes with Philadelphia management was back in 2023. They were apparently offered 2 of St. Louis's 3 first-round picks for Scott Lawton, not the 10th overall pick, the 2 later ones. And Briere turned his nose up at the deal and said no.
see, and that's what I'm talking about.
And that's
That's
like,
what I'm
why?
talking
What do you
about.
think you're doing? Scott Lawton is a third-line center that gets you 30 points at most, and St. Louis is stupid enough to offer you 2 first-rounders in a draft. It's 2023. So that draft was seen as super strong. You're not going to take those picks? Like, sure,
And that's
they
what I
became
talk
Otto
about
Sandberg and
committing.
Theo Lindsay. You could have taken Callum Ritchie. You could have taken Easton Cowan. You could have taken Bradley Nadeau. Could have taken Gavin Brindley. You could have taken Michael Hrabal. Looks like a pretty decent goalie prospect. You could have taken Andrew Cristall, who should have gone to the World Juniors for Team Canada. You could have done so much with those picks. You keep Scott Lawton.
Bottom line, they haven't committed to what they really need to do to become a contender. Danny Briere has done the same exact thing every Flyers GM in the 10, 15 years prior to him coming on has done.
that's why I think it's ownership.
And that's why I think, again, he's handcuffed a bit, but, I think he's done an all right job with what he's been forced to deal with.
Yeah. And he's building with younger players.
What we know is going to happen.
That's why I keep him
in 5
at
years.
mid.
If he ends up out of a job, Bobby Clark will just go on the radio and trash him and blame him for everything the same way he did with Hextall.
But Hextall was actually bad.
No, Hextall wasn't good. I'm not saying that, but it's like, yeah, it's convenient that apparently every bad decision you ever made during the Hextall era was just Ron Hextall and never you, Bobby Clark. Yeah. Convenient.
Go ahead, Kirby.
No, I'm ready to move on, but I'm willing to move him down as we go along.
But I have a question, by the way.
Hey.
You have potential GMs in the hot seat. Why is Sweeney on there? He just signed an
He
extension.
just got a contract extension. I told you this.
I'll make my case for it. Doesn't matter. He signs extension. Coaches
Yes, it does.
It doesn't. But
It's
Jeremy Jacobs is cheap, dude.
all right. Brad Treliving, I have him at the front end of above average right now. His tenure with the Leafs, I've liked what he's done so far, trying to change.
He
the
made
makeup.
the worst trade in the last 35 years. Like,
Unfortunately,
the worst sports trade.
but
But
what
he-
he's done
Arguably.
But at the moment, it wasn't a bad deal, and he was
Correct. And
handcuffed with that.
he knew he was on his way out.
Where
So
he messed up with
Yeah,
that.
he didn't do that with Toronto. We're grading him on how he did with Toronto.
Yeah, we're Toronto.
Yeah.
That ties into Johnny Gaudreau. That doesn't.
But I don't blame him for that move. I really don't.
It's the
but-
Johnny Gaudreau one.
Because anyone back then would have took that deal for Matthew Tkachuk. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But
everyone was saying it's a bad deal. I was watching old GM videos today from content creators, and they're like, everyone hated that deal at the time for Bill.
they did.
I
Yeah,
did, but a lot of people did.
But
A lot of people did.
But with Tree Living, he's done an all right job in Toronto. You know, bringing in Scott Lawton. And I'm trying to think of who the hell else he brought.
Poor
in.
Scott Lawton's
Brandon
going to get
Carlo.
thrown over the coals again.
first year they kind of tried to do that Florida Panther thing with Tyler Bertuzzi, Max Domi. They kind of did a makeshift blue line like that. Had some big guys back there, Joel Edmondson, some other guys. He got some under the radar guys, Simone Benoit. Went to 7 games with the Boston Bruins. Could have done a nice job. Could have beaten them. They didn't.
Had the lead in
Then-
Game 7.
Then the next year, I mean, again, I think he's done a nice job upgrading that blue line for Toronto. You take a look when he first got there, it was not good. But you take a look at it now, you have guys like Brandon Carlo, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Simone Benoit, Chris Tanev. It's a different look. I think a lot more responsible, a lot more trustworthy, and I think it
cut
fits
out a little bit.
It fits
Kirby
with
said all about changing the coach.
It fits your head coach. I said.
It
Sorry.
fits what your head
There it is,
coach
sorry.
wants. Number 2, I think the head coaching hire of Craig Berube, that was a good hire. They went to Game 7 with the back-to-back Cup champions. Let's go. I think between what he's done with the blue line, making them a bit tougher, a bit more reliable, what he's done with the overall style and structure when it comes to behind the bench, and I don't hate some of the moves he did, like with that bottom 6 with Scott Lawton and Steven Lorenz. And I really don't mind what he did this year, adding Dakota Joshua and Matthias Michelli to that mix. The only thing they're missing now is a replacement for Mitch Marner, a top 6 forward, which again, that was a controversial.
Now I
thing
might have
with him.
crucified him, Nick, if he signed Mitch Marner there, but they decided not to.
if
But I
he's
think Mitch
able-
Marner
Kirby,
made that decision.
If he's able to find a 70, 75-point top 6 winger to put with Austin Matthews, right? And there are guys out there like that.
They have a guy on their roster for that.
Yeah.
He's
But
not that
I
guy.
mean another one.
He's
one.
not that guy.
Well,
He is-
what they're hoping
Hold on
for
a
in
minute.
terms
Matthew Knies.
Yeah.
If you
He
look,
doesn't get enough
if you
apples.
get one more high-level top 6 forward, I'm looking at that team. It's like, number 1, I like what they've done with their bottom 6, Nick Waugh, Matthias Michelli, Dakota Joshua, adding to that bottom 6. Bobby McMahon is also in there. You add a top 6 forward to replace Mitch Marner. You change the makeup of your defense, and I think you get a coach that could work with that. They haven't been the best moves. I think they need to upgrade on some of the other stuff when it comes to the wingers, but I don't know what Cody's laughing at. But
The Beth.
best moves. I think that was my mic.
Are you allergic? Fat tongue there, buddy.
But anyway.
no, he's auditioning to be a Mike Tyson impersonator.
Do you guys remember when Mitch Marner's no trade clause kicked in? Was it last summer?
Yeah,
Or
but the
summer
thing
that
was,
It
he
was Tree Living's
started?
first summer in charge. It was
Yeah.
Tree Living's
Oh, the
first
day
summer in
after.
charge.
But he was so handcuffed at the time.
It
There was
was
a small window for it. I want to.
Yeah, and he just got hired.
he had just gotten hired, right?
Can't really make a big move like that. And he tried to get Mikko Rantanen.
Wasn't gonna let him do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
He
think
tried
you
to
take
get
a
Mikko
look,
Rantanen.
That's why I don't knock him down.
And then
It's
NMC
too hard for that.
Warner said no.
if that team
He
gets
tried.
a top 6 forward, if they get a top 6 forward, you're looking at
Depends
a
on
team
who
with
it
a lot
is.
better center depth, a much better blue line, and the winger depth there with Michelli, with Joshua, with McMahon now taking a reduced role, with that new potential top 6 forward. It becomes a deeper forward core. Vince, you've talked about the goal of getting rid of Marner was to get deeper in your overall top 9 and bottom 6. I think
I would say they've done that.
I
Now
will
I
say
think it's
this.
just time to fill the Marner hole.
I will say this.
I think what they're hoping for in terms of filling the Marner hole is kind of a replacement in the aggregate kind of thing where you have Maselli probably get 60 points out of him. They're hoping what they're hoping.
What?
That's what I think they're hoping. Maybe 50 to 55, maybe. I don't know. Nick Robertson continuing a push forward because he did show some flashes with Briere. And then that Dakota Joshua bounces back, and then you
Yeah,
have Nick
but
Watt.
don't kid
A
yourself.
lot of
Don't kid yourself.
You're trying to
They
replace
need-
Marner with 4 people.
But here's the problem, though.
No. They have money.
That never
They
worked.
need to get one more piece. They need
Yeah,
another top six.
Yeah, but their
forward. This
piece
isn't-
that piece ain't out there right
they
now.
have $2 million. They have $2 million.
Well, they're going to
That's
clear
what
out.
they have. And I think I'll be honest, they need another puck mover on the back end because you can't
I
run a
don't
5-forward power play anymore.
Yeah, but
You have what? One puck mover and Morgan Riley. Like OEL isn't really that guy anymore.
I said
You betting on
that
Henry Thrun?
if you go take a look at prior to July 1st, I said they could use a guy like Aaron Ekblad. They need one more right shot, or they're actually strong on the right side, left shot defenseman that could kind of play a top 4
Well,
role
they
for
weren't
them.
looking at him. They were looking at Brad
I
Marchand.
think the most glaring hole is a legit top 6 forward, maybe in the realm of an Alex Tucker, Ricardo.
It would have
Raquel.
been Brad Marchand if he was available.
Yes, but now I think you look at guys like Brian Rust, Ricard Raquel,
Okay.
Alex Tuck, right? And if you can, this is more of a luxury at this point. You need to get another top
Tuck's
four.
a lot higher level than
Yeah,
some of
but
those.
but here's the problem with the Leafs as of right now. Their wingers outside of Nylander and Nyes mid as hell. And the goaltending.
And I don't love Tavares as the number 2 center. I don't think that works at certain points. I think it's better as the 3C. So,
Did Cody say Nyes in there with Nylander? I'm just checking.
Yes,
He did.
Thank
He
you.
said outside of Nyes and Nylander.
but
Yeah.
Matthew Nyes is not
Right.
better than Carter Verhaeghe. Please get out of here with that.
I just didn't want mid under. Nyes.
anyway,
But next up here we have Stevie.
FSU Trash Can right now.
Do we put him there?
Yes.
I'll be honest. I wouldn't put him that low.
I would.
I wouldn't put him in
And
the
I'm going to
garbage bin.
explain why.
If you were just going off his free agent signings, sure. Because the Ben Sherratt move was terrible. Justin Hall, stupid. The goalie carousel has not worked.
Okay,
They're trying to address that with John Gibson this year.
anybody who commits to a rebuild takes all this time, and now you're supposed to start winning, and that's the defense you construct, you should be out of the league. That's atrocious, that defense. It's an abomination. It's disgusting. Okay? Ben Sherratt, Justin Hull, 38-year-old, and I know he's a Panther now, Jeff Petrie, Moritz Seider, you've ruined the kid at, 24?
He's not ruined.
He's
yet.
not ruined.
He's not
He's
ruined,
not
but
ruined.
man, Sherratt's an anchor tied around his
Get
neck.
him some damn
They-
help,
Well,
please.
okay,
He might be shell shocked, but
shell-shocked at the best.
Edvinson ain't enough. He needs some damn help. I mean,
They have a train wreck of a defense over the last multiple number of years, and I know they figured it out this year. Their goaltending has been, I don't even know what.
Edvinson
And
looks good.
You take
They
a
had
look
5 goalies last year, Nick.
okay, 5 goalies last year, and take a look at the amount of money they're spending. Ben Sherratt makes 4.75. JT Compher, a third-line center, makes 5.1.
Told you that was a bad.
Kopp
Andrew
makes
Kopp,
5.625, and Kopp's the same level of player.
Andrew Kopp makes 5.625. Okay, so you're telling me Justin Hull makes what, $3 million?
yeah.
3.4.
Okay, 3.4. So you're telling me that you're spending what, almost $20 million on those 4 players?
Yeah.
How in the world is
$17
that?
million around that much, maybe 18,
Do
19.
you know
Yeah.
what you could do with that money?
Not pay those guys.
Get 2 Sam Bennett's.
Maybe.
Is anyone else with
but-
Nick on the trash?
I think he's
Here's
Here-
why I don't
here-
think
here-
he's trash can. Here's why. His
I don't think-
drafting.
Cody, go ahead.
Like the Lucas Raymond he's my favorite player on that team. Axel Sandlin Pellica, he's coming soon. He's going to be a really good player for them. Simon Edvinson's been really good on the back end. The only other good defenseman on there. And I think but Vince would have to answer this one. I think Sebastian Cossa had like a little bit of a rough time at the start, but I think he's kind of low key figured it out now a bit.
so that
But
is we're just
He's a young goalie. He's a
What
young
year-
goalie.
what year
Here's
of
the
it-
thing I'm going to tell. Like a lot of Yzerman's free agent signings haven't worked out. And
Like,
yes,
that's-
the goalie thing last year, it's not right to call it a dumpster fire because a dumpster fire is at least contained. But I think the Patrick Kane signing, which I'll admit I thought was going to be a huge flop. You had a guy
I
coming off
wanted him. I
surfacing
wanted him for
surgery.
sure.
I was like, this guy's not going to be good. 106 points in 112 games with the Red Wings. He's
I have a
been
question.
good.
What year are we? into the
Edmondson's
Yzer
emergence
plan?
last year made their defense look a little better, at least.
Well, like
Marco
5 years.
Kasper had a decent rookie campaign, so they at least have a good
6.
young forward in him. They have
6.
more guys on the way in Bear, Branson,
Vince.
Nygaard, Danielson, Sandin
Vince.
Pellikka. Obviously, I think is going to be a star on
Vince.
the back end. They've got
Vince.
so many young players in this pipeline.
Vince.
I don't understand why they haven't just leaned more into them. I
Vince.
get the idea of patience,
Have a good coach
but it's
now.
been 6 years.
They have a good coach.
Vince. It's 6 years. I don't want to hear about players in the pipeline in year 6. That's what you were supposed
You
to
have to
They're
talk
supposed
about
to
that
be
with
here.
Detroit, though. You have to.
But you're supposed
You
to
don't
be
have
here
another
already.
choice. You don't have another choice.
Vince, they're not Vince. They're
wasted a lot of
supposed
years
to
on
be
Madden.
in the NHL at this point. If
It
you're
does,
going
okay,
in,
Nick,
Wait,
Nick,
who's the
Nick,
coach
it doesn't
again? Who they
help
hire?
that the last few picks from Ken Holland's era blew up in their
Wait,
face.
who was it, Kirby?
Lalonde,
It doesn't.
Glass,
That doesn't
No,
help.
hold on
No,
a
but
minute.
who's it now?
Vince, it's
McCullough.
we're going into
Oh,
year
that's right.
7.
I like
These young players should have already been in the NHL and making somewhat of a difference. What this team is
I'll
supposed
say
to be.
you can give me that for the 2020 and 21 classes, sure. But if you're going to say that about guys like Sandin Pellikka, who they took 2 years ago, no.
Okay,
If Sandin
then,
Pellikka shows
Vince-
he's ready to go next year, fine, cool,
Vince,
good.
I hate to
Let's
break
see it.
I hate to break it to you. He ain't dragging Detroit to the playoffs in years 1 and 2. So that's year 7 and 8 now.
That's what he needs to keep his job.
But
So,
but that's
I mean,
but
this guy should have been fired. He is spent
We've been
so
told.
much.
We've been told by Jim he's on the hot seat.
Okay, he
I don't know
has been spent so much ridiculous amount of money on some of the worst contracts in the NHL, and we're sitting here, and he's sitting here relying on prospects that maybe or may not work out. You're going into year 7. You should have already made the playoffs at least once.
but all right.
To me, the
we gotta
funniest
move
thing
on,
about
boys.
the whole
Hey, we
thing,
gotta
and
move on.
I've criticized him for this,
Go
not to
for it.
his face, obviously. He's a scary guy in person.
Cody's jumping in. I thought
But
that-
I've said this: if he hadn't signed some of those guys and done the we want to be competitive when it's like, okay,
Well,
you're
he
2
did.
years of bottoming out, your lottery luck screwed you over. If he hadn't done that, they'd probably actually be better off. That's the funny thing.
All right,
They'd
all right.
probably be better off if they were
Time
more
out,
patient.
time
But
out,
Vince-
time-
You know, like
Time-
3-4 years ago, they would have been
Guys,
better off
guys,
if they were
guys,
more
guys.
patient.
Vince,
time out.
Vince, relax.
Time out. I got 2 remaining. We are an hour in and we're 9 guys in. We got to get going here.
I told Vince.
All right, keep talking too much, guys. Sorry.
Nick's taking over the monologue for each of these 9 guys.
okay. So then you know what? All I'll say is on Yzerman but first of all, I wanted to talk about Zito.
First of all,
Breeze-
what? Just say what you got.
Zito, Brisebois, and Yzerman. Those are the guys I really wanted to talk about. Steve Yzerman, trash can level GM.
Not
and
there
if
yet.
he did this,
No.
if he didn't do that, he did it. He
You
did
don't have
it.
the votes already.
I'm fine
There-
with
there-
putting
there
him
are
at-
three guys that I
You're
think
getting
I will.
outvoted on that one, Nick.
Nope.
Okay.
FSU Trash Can.
Chris McFarland, I have him in between Waddell and Tree Living and above average. This guy rebuilt a team in the middle of a regular season. Never seen it before. Never probably never see it again. But he did it somehow.
He
the
gets
Avs-
too much hate.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Avs
trading your
does.
best, trading an all-time great in the middle of the season is
Hey.
a great job.
Oh,
Hey,
that's not a good mark.
they had to get something.
Yeah, it's
for him,
not
and they
like
didn't-
it went to a team where he didn't fit at all, and then that team traded him in like a week. Oh,
But he gave
wait.
his coach players. I
Yeah.
don't like the Rantanen thing, but he did give his coach players. to
Yeah,
see.
he went out and got Brock Nelson. He went out and got Charlie Coyle. Got rid of the Casey Middlestat thing. Realized his goaltending tandem wasn't good enough, and Georgiev and I forget who else was there, and ends up with Blackwood and Wedgwood, the Woods. You know what I'm saying?
He
And
got
It
rid
was
of the best
Onanen.
one.
It was Justice Onanen. That was the other
He got,
goalie.
he got rid of the best one.
and he's relatively new because Sakic was GM before, so he's still I think his first or second full year as GM here. But third, but the
He took
Rangers-
over right after the Cup win. That's why I think he gets too much hate.
but-
So Cody
Like it's
wants-
just
Cody
a victim of circumstance more than
wants
anything
him
else.
Lower D-Lo. Where do you kind of place him here?
I'm fine there. I think the impact of losing Landeskog right after the Cup win, also right at the start of your tenure as GM, he's probably gotten. I haven't seen too much of the hate against him, but maybe it's out in the Twitter sphere. But
when I've seen people rank him like in the 20s in terms of GMs in the league, I'm like, that's too low. That's just not fair.
The guy had
Let's be like you said, rebuild in the middle of the season. He got 2 goalies that helped carry them to the playoffs. You know, the jury's still out. Obviously, that's why I have him at above average, despite being part
and that
of
Charlie Coyle deal, D'Lo, that didn't work out. They had to move it right away.
I don't think either of that's the thing. I don't think either of the trades for centers are going to look good for Colorado. Yeah. I wasn't a fan of the Nelson trade. I thought they gave up too much.
Like, what was that prospect they gave up that everyone loved?
Cal Ritchie. Anyway. I knew you weren't talking about Will Zellers. As much as I love Will Zellers, he doesn't get any talk.
But sometimes these teams are like they're kind of slaves to the moment that they're in. You know, they're in cup contention window, right? And sometimes the moves are we have to go for it, kind of, or do we wait and see? You know, we don't hear about it a lot now, but the Giroux trade that Zito made wasn't, you know, it didn't turn out that great, but it had to be made, I think. Because this is the trajectory we're on.
Trades. I really don't.
And I think, D'Lo, when it comes to McFarland, if they're going to win another cup, I think it's got to be next year because the league's wide open next year. So it'll be interesting to see what Colorado did. They've done this before. They did it with Byram and Middlestat the year before. They did it now with their goalies the year prior and Brock Nelson and all these guys. They're a deeper team, but
I think their cup window's open for McKinnon.
I think their cup window's open, but again, I mean, losing Rantanen and who knows what's going to happen with Marty Nates. You're going to have to pay Marty Nates $10 million. So I don't know why you wouldn't just pay Rantanen.
I don't think they want to because they would have signed him already.
Yeah, because I don't know. There's more to that Rantanen thing. I think Rantanen's camp is letting on. But anyway, next up we have Billy Guerin. I have him once again right below Tree Living and above average.
Thank you.
Everybody. I'd put him ahead of Tree Living, actually.
I would too.
Go ahead.
Just a couple notes. I would put him, I think, above Tree Living. He's managed to have those buyouts that they had to do with Suter and Preze's contracts kind of hanging as an albatross or 2 albatrosses around his neck, kind of tying his hands, whatever metaphor you want to use, to kind of help Minnesota get into contention. You know, they're always in the hunt for the playoff spot while Guerin's been there, whether they make it or not. And he has some success ahead of him, despite all these past challenges. The Kaprizov signing, I'm really curious to see what happens with that, if they're able to retain him. And they're going to have to just pay him the max. What's the max percent you can get at the cap? 12% or
something like that at this point. So.
D'Lo, what are your thoughts on maybe Marco Rossi, and then obviously if they're able to get Rossi and Kaprizov signed, what about the other money that they finally have to go spend on what are trades or whatever?
Right, I think that's gonna. It seems like Rossi maybe doesn't want to be there, or he's asking for the kind of money that Guerin's not willing, and maybe he's not a fit for Guerin's kind of players, the way that Minnesota likes to play, and doesn't seem to be.
But with Billy G here, it's just the Minnesota Wild have been handcuffed the last 2 years due to these buyouts, and we can't put that on Guerin because he didn't sign those deals, so it's not on Billy G. And the Minnesota has remained competitive, even though last year Everson really got fired because Gustafsson couldn't make a save in the first half of the year. And they have, going into next year, you're going to get a full NHL season of one of the probably, in my opinion, the most electric defensive prospect coming in next year, which is Z William. It's him and Perek for me. And then, you know, the Faber contract says you may have been a bit too early. We'll see how it fares out with him. He did have the sophomore slump, so we'll see about that. But it's just you're going to see where the Wild's going to go, especially with the cap space coming into him this year. The Rossi thing may go all the way to the season starts. We'll see. But
the one thing about the Faber thing, I think a lot of his struggles came from the Kaprizov and the Eriksson Ek injuries. So Minnesota's been dealt a pretty bad hand. I think Guerin's done a nice job. I wanted to ask a question since the GM thing. Why in the world is he the GM of Team USA for Four Nations Olympic team? I was talking about this with Kirby the other day. I'm like, is it a relationship thing with somebody there?
It has to be.
It's called he's a former player.
I mean,
the thing is, the national teams, the federations love to go for their guy. They like to pick the former player. They like to pick,
It's an
someone
old boy
who
network.
wore the shirt because they get it or
Minnesota,
whatever.
where they run a lot of the headquarters, or different things as well.
I think,
Yeah.
I think I know the U.S. national
New
program
York.
plays in Plymouth, Michigan.
Michigan, okay.
Whatever.
So
It is.
they're around that area.
But
Who
anyway,
is this next guy? I don't even know who
If you
that
wanna
is.
Theos. It is next. I will put him right back bang in mid.
What?
No arguments from me there.
Do
Really?
you think
I got him quite a bit ahead of Briere.
I do too?
Yeah, but
I would still have him
gone
as
through
mid,
11
though.
guys.
But we could move him up, or Briere's going down.
We have 11 guys. We'll get to there.
I think he's ahead
We
of
spent
Briere.
20 minutes on freaking Briere, but with Seos is the really only move he's had his imprint on is the Chikrin trade and the Olmark trade. Chikrin trade, Nick Jensen looked completely out of place there his first year there. Couldn't really find a solid spot on the roster, and Olmark solidified the goalie position for him. Got him to the playoffs where they wanted to be, but really, but right now the nucleus of the team came from Pierre Dorian. I'm pretty sure. So
I think
Yeah,
he did
well,
a nice
you're
job
right.
with Dylan Cousins. I think Nick Jensen was good, and then the last 25, 30 games of the year, he got hurt. You take a look at what they did with Dylan Cousins, adding Fabian Zetterlund, upgrading their positions in net, and number 4. And I even criticized it at the time. The head coaching, the head coaching hire. I think he deserves a lot of credit for that.
Well, he's got his own head coach now, and he's got a new owner.
He's got his own head coach, and I think if you would have asked a lot of people at the time, what are your thoughts on potentially Travis Green? I think a lot of people would have said hell no. I said hell no.
What did I
And-
say?
Well, Kirby, that's a Kirby dub, and we don't have the belt here.
wait
but-
till year 2.
But I think he deserves credit for hiring Travis Green. I mean, that was a highly criticized hiring, and it worked out their first year. And I think with Dylan Cousins and getting rid of that Josh Norris contract, Fabian Zetterlund, I think there's work to be done, but I like what he's done.
I
thus
think they
far.
built a good staff too. Dave Poulion left a TSN broadcasting job, working with Ottawa now, and they're building a good thing there. He was part of Brian Burke in Toronto there, and I really like him as a hockey mind. So
I like his trade for Jordan Spence also. It's kind of low-key, maybe sneaky good.
Yeah,
I don't
trade
know
for them.
about Spence.
I'm not a huge fan of Spence, but I think it's a need for them, and I think it fits.
Yeah.
Also, Lars Eller, getting him, I think the forward depth is nice. If you want my honest opinion, I think they need an upgrade in the top 6 from David Perron.
Hey,
Agreed.
listen,
Yeah, well, DP's 37, so
just say Perron. Don't say DP.
He's a baby.
But next up, let's see if you guys recognize this guy besides Vince.
It's one of the Armstrongs.
Yes.
Which one?
Bill? That's Bill.
That is
Bill?
Bill
he
Armstrong.
had a 50-50 chance to get it.
Cody, start us off because you have some stuff on him.
Yes, I think he's right about. Is he ahead or behind Tree?
Ahead.
All
I
right.
would say ahead.
Oh,
All right. I don't think he's above Billy G quite yet.
No.
Although he's in what, year 5, right?
No.
Or 6? Year 6?
Something like that, but he had to deal with the whole Arizona fiasco, so he gets
Yeah.
he gets a great old asterisk for that. But this guy right here is single-handedly created the most underrated blue line in all of the National Hockey League in Utah. With you have Mikhail Sergachev over there, Sean Dursey, John Marino, just to name a few. Had Matthew Kesselring, but he traded for JJ Preserga this past offseason, which I like for him. And then you have Clayton Keller locked up. You have Logan Cooley on his way up here, who could pop soon. Dylan Genther, another guy who is on the rise in this league.
You got guys coming up through the pipeline.
Stanley Cup champion Nate Schmidt.
Hell yeah.
And Kevin
And then-
Scanlon.
Yep.
A lot of Kirby guys on this team.
And they have the most underrated goalie in the NHL, in my opinion, which is Karel Vemelka.
Yeah, I like him. He's a good goalie.
They signed, was it Vanacek they signed?
Yes.
They
They
did
signed
sign
Van-
Vanacek, yeah.
Vanacek
Wait
because
till Ingram comes out of the
Yeah.
Is that a Kirby guy?
Vanacek. Yeah, that's a
he was a stopgap and he
And
was
they
good
got
when he
Brandon
played for
Tanev,
us.
too. They
have-
got Brandon
have
Tanev, too.
They have Tanev. They have Tij Agenla coming up soon.
Yep.
But I like the way Utah's on the rise up. We'll see
And they
here.
didn't need a Mitch Marner. What they did was fine. And
Yeah, they need a center more than a winger now because they're very winger heavy with Keller, with Genther, with now Paterka. Now those are three good wingers. Now you need a kind of like a second line center that isn't named Barrett Hayton. So
They're hoping Caleb Denoye develops quickly.
Kirby, you got a story on Barrett Hayden?
no. He doesn't. Next up,
I'm friends with his cousin.
I'm gonna listen to you guys on this one because I'm not sure. We have Mr. Kyle Davidson of the Chicago Blackhawks.
Not a fan.
Take it away, Kirby.
Not a fan. Good.
Kirby, the floor is yours.
Not a fan. Okay. I've
Call me when you need a rebuttal.
Okay, since they drafted Connor Bedard, haven't entered the free agency pool. Again, another shot. I know there's guys not available, but your job as a GM is to surround yourself with generational player with talent, and they have not done that. They've had guys that have bombed out there. You know, Corey Perry's situation, a lot of stuff off ice there, not on ice. But like situations that you're bringing into the room, these aren't good character guys. These aren't fits for your room. What are you doing? Now, I do like their draft. Me and Vince do like some of these guys coming up, but you can only bring so many of them up at a time. Leshnoff's going to get some minutes this year. Nazar's going to get some time, but you can't throw 5 of these guys in with Connor Bedard and hope it to all work out. You know what I mean? I can't.
Where do you want them?
And I agree with you there. I think you take a look at some of the approaches these other teams have had. First of all, I want to talk about they didn't like the guys coming in the locker room. I think Elliot Friedman said they weren't exactly pleased with how the locker room culture guys did in there, and I something to that effect.
What, Seth Jones?
He said that, Nick. They said that was part of why they didn't go and get a lot of veterans in free agency this year, because they felt like the guys they brought in the year before were massive flops.
But I also think they could have gone
where
a little.
Would you guys like them? I'm trying to figure this out. I don't know where to put them.
Below mid or mid.
I would put him below mid.
Below mid?
If I could
before or
say,
after Stevie White?
I think he could be fired.
But I put him ahead of Yzerman just because you can at least make more of a coherent argument for Davidson that he deserves more time.
I forgot this guy fired Luke Richardson to hire Jeff Blashill. What are we doing here, people?
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't like that one.
I think we've seen I think you've seen teams make some strides in around the team. Like I know Montreal was a little bit ahead of Chicago at the time, but even then they've gone out and acquired talent. Like San Jose, the addition of Tyler Toffoli, like you take a look at what that's done for some of the young guys like Celebrini and Will Smith there, Alex Wenberg, even before then, like Anthony Duclair. I think they haven't really gone that route. They've had Tyler Pertuzzi. It just has not worked out to how they wanted it to. I was a little bit critical of how they approached the trade deadline with who they particularly got. I think Jake DeBrusk there would have been a really good fit. I don't even know if they were in on him. I think there's a point in time where, like, okay, you have all these picks, you have all these prospects. Make a move for a guy that Bedard can play with and they can grow together. Like, I think J.J. Peterka, if you want my honest opinion, they should have been in on him. Like, they have tons of prospects and picks. Why the hell wouldn't you give or package some way in a 3-way deal to facilitate it? I don't
know. Way they could have got Ehlers there.
Nikolai Ehlers, another one. I don't know, but Mitch Marner.
The only thing with Peterka was Buffalo didn't want more prospects. They wanted guys that would help them on the roster immediately.
Well, then you do a 3-way trade.
What role, if any, does the GM?
That's just you asked the question. That's just the answer. Buffalo didn't want picks and prospects for Peterka.
Go ahead, D'Lo.
This is a question that might not have an answer. What role does the GM have in determining or influencing whether Connor Bedard remains a center or it gets moved to
quite a bit, because he has to build the team.
Exactly.
A little bit of a say.
To be decided kind of right now to start kind of building around him or with him.
But well, then you make that decision. I think it helps
to know sooner rather than later.
You got to make that decision in your free agency.
And I think you have to make that decision at the draft.
Because that's a long term. Exactly.
You could argue, Nick, that they did make that decision at the draft. Because I think Frondell can be a number 1 center.
So, I mean,
okay, there you go.
And they think Nazar a center. I think
Nazar's too small to be a center.
Not a team.
Bedard at least has the talent to the point where you could say he could be a center despite his height. Nazar, even though I like him, he's not that guy.
But next up here, Mr. Ken Holland.
Too early to rank. Too early to rank. His team hasn't even played a game yet. We have no idea how
I
they're
think he's going on
Right
past.
now, I can tell you right now, it's trash can material.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's
You
in
don't
the,
like Cody
in the
Season?
garbage
Well,
bin.
you're going
but
to
I
judge
say
some of his Edmonton
LA, too
tenure?
early.
We
I
put
think
too early
that's
to
fair.
come on there for a reason.
Let's
Didn't
judge
want-
him for his. Let's also put in some of his Edmonton tenure. I'm going to put him smack bang in mid
That's fair.
because at the same token, he was a big reason why Edmonton made it to the finals. Like all of his trade deadline acquisitions hit in Adam Henrique, Janmark hit for him. Like they were objectively a better team when he was the GM instead.
And
of
he's
Stan
not the one that let go of McLeod and Broberg and Holloway.
So
He was not
Yeah.
part of that decision.
and these free agent signings, let's be real here, they don't look that great. Cody Ceci had like $4 million or whatever, but they haven't hit the ice yet. So we'll see what happens here.
So
Cody,
Nick,
you and I both know. You and I both know. We
If,
can't
if
judge
you're
anything
thinking
yet.
Edmonton stuff, put him in mid.
What happened?
If you're just talking LA, too early.
because we were gonna
I
put too
agree with
early D'Lo and Vince.
not right now, but you have. But here's the thing: you said last 5 years, so he has a bit of a tenure to go off of.
I know different team though.
Yeah, but I'm like it's just mid for right now. There are a couple guys that I'm gonna put in too early here.
Well,
There's
He
one-
did. He didn't
one
fix
thing
their
also,
goalie
if you're
situation.
going to talk about him in Edmonton, he did sign Zach Hyman.
Yeah, so
Pretty sure he did.
yes, yeah, he
That
did.
worked out.
But
Yeah.
if you guys want to do too early, let's just put him in right now. I have Jason
Is
Botterill.
that where you want him, D'Lo? It's up to you, D'Lo. You're the tiebreaker.
Or Botterill, yeah, definitely. Botterill, Darsh, he just started.
who
where
the hell is the next guy?
that? Is Chris Drury, Nick?
Okay, I was about to say I can barely see it.
Darsh right here as well. Too early to rank. Chris Drury. Ooh, this is gonna be
Wishful
interesting.
thinking for Rangers
This
fans.
is a toughie.
I think he's right around where Briere is.
I thought he was getting fired this summer.
Here's
Cody. For Drury, get the garbage can.
He's not that level though. He's not that
I
level.
put him in that level.
No,
I think
I'm sorry.
he's done a
If
If
terrible
you
job.
say Steve Yzerman is better
No,
than
no.
Drury, you're out of your mind.
No,
Nick, Drury took a President's Trophy winner and then threw it into a garbage can,
No.
set it on fire, and then they missed the playoff.
Here's my rebuttal to
You
that.
guys are telling me
Here's
better than Drury?
here's the
I
rebuttal.
think
to
Briere's
that,
better than
Vince.
Drury, yeah.
I don't think so.
Here's my rebuttal to that, Vince. It's the players' fault. That was not on Drury.
I agree.
It was the players this time.
Because no matter what
They
it is,
got
Okay,
mad.
He's the one who went to two people with trade protections and threatened to essentially put them on waivers. Otherwise,
guess what?
That's like he extorted them.
and guess
He
what? I
extorted
like
them.
that.
That's
I
gonna
like
mess up
that.
a room. That's gonna mess up a room.
Okay,
You
but here's
gotta
the thing.
understand that'll mess up a room.
But here's the
You
problem.
gotta understand that.
None of those guys in that room have won anything enough to have that kind of say.
I'm not
Not
sitting here
one of
trying to
them.
make Zibanejad the nice guy here. I'm saying it's like the way you threw Trouba, who was the team captain, under the bus like that and basically forced him out. You don't do that. That's gonna mess up a room.
But in
And of
You know
course,
what?
Not only
I
the
will
room-
you should know
this
this.
team,
You should
this-
know this.
this team has constantly bitched and complained about everything, no matter who the coach has been, whether it's Gerard Gallant, whether it's Peter Laviolette, and it's going to be about Mike Sullivan. It does not matter. At the end of the day, Chris Drury and his roster construction, however you may dislike it, has gotten them the 2 out of 4, the last 4 conference finals. What other GM on here has a resume like that? Very few.
Yeah,
It's not
How
his
many of
fault.
those guys did he
It's-
actually put there, though?
It's a
How
fair
many of those
point,
guys did Jeff Gordon put there versus how many guys did he put there?
Let's see. He put in Goodrow, which he
Did he sign
promptly-
Panarin? Did he
That
draft
was-
Lafreniere?
Did he draft Lafreniere?
He might have drafted Lafreniere. I don't remember. I don't think he did.
No, he,
No,
he,
He
was,
was,
he was in
since
2021.
May 5th.
Did he trade for Adam Fox? Did he
No.
draft Did he draft Shesterkin? He extended him, but did he draft him?
Let's see. I'm trying to think here, but he did trade. He got rid of Miller though. So
Nick, I gave him credit
Brought
for
Miller
the
back.
success, the conference finals appearances, like you mentioned. But what Vincent mentioned, telling these guys, hit the road, Trouba and help me out here.
Goodrow was the
right?
other one.
Goodrow.
Goodrow started the whole thing.
However, whatever that does to the room, Drury can fix the room, right? He can get rid of guys. What happens now is his reputation to the rest of the league The players, the prospective players coming there, free agents, they're going to be like, screw you, dude. We don't want to deal with you.
I think he's better than Briere.
I think he's better than Briere, and I agree with you, D'Lo. I don't like that
Undermine
because
himself.
at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, the player has the no move.
Why do you have him, Kirby?
I got him better than Briere.
He's right there if you're asking me. But right now, like we're at what 5-10.
Taco says he drafted LaFleur shit.
He did not, unfortunately. So, but luckily we are hitting the halfway point here.
Is that what we call it?
So
we'd be further along.
But before, but we had to yell for 20 minutes on freaking Daniel Briere.
There's another guy. Who's the other guy?
These are good conversation, folks.
Philly's always interesting to talk about if you're not a Philly fan.
We're the Tampa Bay channel.
Kirby, I know you have it out for Philly because you hate the Eagles, But here's
the
Nick,
thing.
you too. You hate the Eagles. You hate everything.
To our listeners or watchers, this is why we other teams give us more content to do than the Panthers do. Because the Panthers, what are we going to say? They won again.
They have a chance again.
Chest out there till the chest is all red.
But anyway, next up, before we continue and we get to some contest winners here, let's hear a word from our sponsor, Caneswear.
Panthers fever is here. Are you geared up? Caneswear in Davie is the place for all your Florida Panthers needs. They have the latest gear for our favorite NHL team. Jerseys, polos, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. Caneswear has you covered. Stop by their store in Davie or at pantherswear.com. Again, that's pantherswear, WEAR.com for all your Panthers gear.
And before we continue with Nick, let's hear a word from our sponsor, Jeremy Beckham. Hey, Panther fans in South Florida, need real estate up? Check out Jeremy Beckham with Next Home Treasure Coast. It's a boutique service with a personal touch. Jeremy's team put humans over houses, working hard for you, whether you're buying or selling. Ready to move? Hit up BeckSellsFLA.com or call 772-475-5371 now. You'll be glad you did. And Nick, take it away, my friend. You are muted, you moron.
Before I get to our script here, we have a winner of the Jonah Gadjovich giveaway contest. JSA certified, of course. And the winner is John Carter. So congratulations, John. Kirby, you said he put his handle in there, correct?
Yeah, I will reach out to him in that chat there.
We'll reach out to you and we'll facilitate a way to get this to you. And then, Kirby, I'll let you announce the Eric Poole thing after this.
Oh, if you have it there in front of you?
Or I had the Eric Poole thing if you'd like me to announce it right now. So we had to do the redraw. And the winner of the Eric Poole art contest redraw is Kareen J. So we will reach out to you. We will find a way to keep out to you. If you are watching this, please comment on this video. Some way we can contact you. And we will make sure to get it to you. Also, we're next week, Kirby, we're going to be giving away 2 pairs of the Hobby Card Show tickets, courtesy of Andrew Hoffman, which is coming to the Broward County Convention Center on August 23rd and 24th. There are going to also be autographed items we're going to be giving away from fan favorite former Florida Panther Ryan Lomberg. And the Hobby Show will have a bunch of key South Florida figures and other sports figures. Brad Marchand will be there and a bunch of other Panthers as well. Also, courtesy of the Cats and Rats podcast, we'll be giving away a pair of club-level tickets to a Florida Panther game in Club Section 33 to one lucky subscriber. The winner will get a pair of club tickets for one of the following games: October 9th versus Philadelphia, October 11th versus Ottawa, and October 28th versus the Anaheim Ducks. And also in partnership with our sponsor, Canes, we're going to be giving away multiple other items, as well as signed puck by Anton Lundell. And we have 3 more 8x10 photos. Anton Lundell, Nico Mikkola, and Atulo Starinen. We're going to make sure, and we actually might do this next one here. We're not announcing this giveaway yet, but here's the Nico Mikkola signed one. We may, if we're not going to do it for the next one, we'll do it for the following one, but we're going to make sure that it is eligible for out-of-country people who want to enter into the contest. So we will facilitate it that way. And also, if you want to enter into the giveaway for the Hobby Card Show tickets, giving away 2 pairs next week. Make sure you follow the instructions. You have to like and comment the live stream video, correct, Kirby, I believe, on the winger ranking?
That's correct.
So like the live stream winger ranking video, comment, and make sure in your comment you leave your handle or something so we have a way to contact you, and make sure you were publicly subscribed to the channel. So make sure you check your settings for that as well. So
thank you, Nick. We will pin that in this episode after we get off air here.
Of course.
It'll be linked.
Appreciate it, Nick, as always. Once again, shout out to Caneswear and Jeremy Beckham. Caneswear is hosting Sergei Bobrovsky. The link to the tickets is in their Twitter bio, so go check that out. And but moving on here, the next GM here. Would you guys like to take a guess and see who this is?
Is he new?
I know who that is.
No.
Is that the other Armstrong?
That is Doug Armstrong, and I have.
Is he new? He's the longest tenured GM in the league.
Where would you guys like him? Because
I think he's above average. I think
have
Above
him-
average, I'd probably put him
above Waddell.
above Waddell.
I might be higher. I might have him higher.
I agree. I mean, you could put him right next to the other Armstrong. I think he could be above Treliving if you want.
I would put him above Tree.
I've got him above Treliving.
Above Tree. Yeah, I think next to I might have him slightly above Bill, but
I have him above Bill. Anyway.
I don't have
I
most. the
wouldn't
same,
argue
man.
too hard either way.
I think you take a look at what he did. St. Louis was a contender for a while before they won a cup. Then they went through a little bit of a rough patch, but I really like what they have going right now. Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou. After a couple of years of, again, being mid, Colton Parayko got healthier again. They're kind of on the upswing with some young talent they have there. I don't love the Bull Duke move, but I do understand it. And I think he's done a nice job in different phases of his team, whether they're being a contender or retooling. I think he's
He's been the longest tenured GM in the NHL. There's only 8 GMs that have held their position longer than pre-2020. So only 8 of them. He's one of them down there at the bottom, and he's the longest tenured. This could be a swan song here, but D'Lo, I know you have some notes on him. He might have 2 gold medals here in the next calendar year as well. So,
Yeah, I'm willing to
God.
maybe bump him up a couple spots as well. If we have Kent Hughes up at Elite, I'm willing to put him up at that band as well. He has the Stanley Cup 2019.
It's just the years after that I can't really.
I know Alex Steen is supposed to take over as GM. I don't remember the exact year though.
So can we get one more person with me and D'Lo for that? Anyone? Nick?
If you want to put him behind Hughes, I'm fine, but he has a
I'm
cup.
okay with that. I think he has the resume.
Signing Broberg and Holloway away from Edmonton. Holy
Yeah, that was a
cow.
good move.
Big ones for that. And
The Butch
it's
Nevich
working
trade
out.
was awesome.
And he has
That was
another
a
year with
slam
each of
dunk.
them at least guaranteed, and the restricted free agents, so they maintain control whether they resign them or use them as assets, blue chips.
And here's the
Fire
thing: they
chips,
have
I
a
mean-
bright future. Like they have a bright future too.
They've drafted rather well.
Dvorsky-
And by the way,
Dvorsky's their top prospect, isn't it?
and
Dvorsky's their
Doug-
top prospect. They have Jimmy Snuggerud as well. And well, my friend's gonna like this. They got his favorite player in the draft, Justin Carbonneau. So
yeah,
And
And
guys-
Joel
he's a
Hofer.
cute scorer though. So I don't know, but we'll see.
I think
We'll
I
see.
think a less seasoned GM would have maybe started a rebuild after the
Right.
firing of Craig Berube, but he didn't. So that's not in his
They were
It,
just
also,
good
DNA.
for
it
a
also
couple
helped
years.
that they
Hold
went
on,
and got
guys,
Jim
like-
I just like how
Montgomery,
scrappy
who's
he is.
a great
as a
coach,
GM.
and I maintain that Jim Montgomery is a
Vince,
fantastic
hold on a minute.
coach.
Kirby, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. You guys can't judge him off of what Zito's done, what Briesbaugh's done. He's allowed to have some of those gap years after winning a Stanley Cup, and
And
now
they were-
have recovered from that.
And they were contending for a long time. And now you take a look, they went through a couple of years of a retool. And when you really take a look at it, I think they only missed the playoffs 1 or 2 years, right?
I
Go back
think
to, go back to
23.
2022, Kirby.
Go back
They-
to been on the job, Nick.
Go back to 2022, Kirby. They took the Colorado Avalanche to 6 games. I mean, they were competitive there. So I think
Longest tenure, 2010.
But this is his last season as Blues GM, as Alexander Steen is set to take
Okay.
over after this season.
I
Then
think
he's going out as elite then for me.
he's won a cup.
Stener's getting
there.
he's inheriting something good then.
He's won a cup, and I think he set up Steen. They have a pretty good future there in St. Louis. He's done that retool very nicely.
They have a good coach, and it helps that Armstrong's always liked him.
He's heavily involved with Team USA stuff too,
You
right?
said big
No, Team Canada.
Team Canada.
I mean, I'm sorry, Team Canada.
That's why Kirby made the gold medal remark.
Yeah,
with
no, but
Armstrong, you know, again, hiring what he did with the hiring of what's his name?
Montgomery.
Montgomery.
What he did from that takes a lot, you know, and he did that. How many GMs would have done that?
yeah, because freaking dude, what
Jim
is
Bannister.
that? Yeah, he never
Drew
really got a
Bannister.
fair.
Drew
Yeah.
Bannister.
Drew, he never got a fair
I'm
shot.
surprised Pittsburgh didn't
He
bring him
didn't.
in because he was a Sioux Greyhounds guy.
But anyway, we'll see here. I mean, this is Armstrong's last song. But Canada will not win the gold medal because you want to know why? Latvia's in the Olympics.
Clip it.
So next up, we
I'm not
have
touching
Kevin Cheveldayoff.
Cody, I didn't think that's where you were going with that line.
Kevin Cheveldayoff, second longest tenure GM.
I
He has been the only GM of the Winnipeg Jets 2.0 era.
I don't know
This
where
will
the
be
hell to put him.
controversial.
I
This will be
think-
controversial. I say put him in a league. He's gotten
I don't think-
the Jets to be a contender for this long, or at least contending quality for this long. He's gotten guys to stay in Winnipeg.
I criticize this deadline. I'll go based off recently. 2 years ago, I think
Oh, the name I call him, Stan Pat Chevy, which he
ever
hasn't-
since Paul Maurice left, I actually think his approach, he's gotten a little bit more aggressive, which
Yep.
for some of it, and I don't understand why he waited till Maurice was gone. But you take a look at some of the situations when it comes to Patrick Laine. Who's that Finnish defenseman? And then also
Billy Heinola.
Pinola,
and then Christian Vesalainen. So there's been some questions about the
Yeah.
development there. You take a look at ever since Paul Maurice left, and I don't necessarily blame him for how the playoffs have gone. He's gone out and he's spent assets and he's spent money to re-sign Scheifele and Hellebuck. He's gone out and he's gotten Tyler Toffoli, Sean Monahan, even though you may not like him. I didn't like their deadline this year. I thought they didn't do enough. They didn't do enough
They
to
never
get a
do.
number
Yeah,
two
you were really critical of it, Nick.
for a number 2 center, which I ended up being right.
Nick W.
But I do think he's done a really good job with turning Winnipeg into a contender, and he's made the right moves. I mean, at the end of the day, he can only put the team together. I think with Bonus and O'Neill.
But any higher,
I think you're also underrating the Dubois move. Like getting rid of Dubois, and they got 2 legit top 9 forwards in Velarde and Iafallo, and
Yeah.
Velarde's looked really good for the Jets. You
I'd
got
say ever
that
since-
for Dubois, and Dubois played himself out of LA in 1 year, and he was bitching about wanting to go to LA the whole time he was in Winnipeg. I
guys
don't
have
know
a
how
high-
you don't call that an absolute win.
I'm
have
there.
a high-
I'm with you at elite.
I've got Guerin above.
I don't.
I wouldn't put Guerin above Chevy just
No.
because I think Chevy has more. There's more reason, I think, to say that Chevy is elite.
I got to see more from Guerin in the free agent front here.
I agree.
Yeah, like
Yes.
with Guerin, it's like he's done a good job, obviously, given the circumstances, and
Yeah.
we hear the whole thing of, oh, when Minnesota gets that money,
Yeah.
you know, and obviously Minnesota has good young players on the rise, but it's like,
So isn't that fair to say that's the same as Cheveldayoff trying to bring guys into Winnipeg?
And Kirby,
but
you
here's the thing, Kirby. There's much more of a speed bump of trying to get people to Winnipeg than there is to Minnesota.
No, but
and-
he had that hamstring.
and Kirby, what is the analogy you used with Kevin Cheveldayoff at the deadline?
Yes, it's your friend playing poker and he keeps folding every hand. He's having conversations with people at the table. Then you look at the guy and you're like, you haven't played 8 of the last 10 hands. Are you even here? Are you even playing? And that's what he's been like. But I do agree with you, Nick. He's being a bit more aggressive now.
But
Ever since Paul Maurice left, he's been a bit more aggressive, and I think you have to wonder if he was that aggressive when Maurice was there. What could have happened, right? So I
There
think also it-
Well, some of that also was money. Some of that also was they were trying to preserve cap space because they
And
were going to
that-
have to start extending.
and after they went
guys
to the
coming out.
conference final, that defense fell apart. The
That was the
They had to get rid of Truba. They
Yeah,
couldn't
they
afford
Cuba and
him.
Dustin Bufflin were gone.
Yeah,
So
That too.
it really hurt him, but he ended up getting Morrissey. Pionk's been a serviceable defensive for him. Dylan Sandberg's been a damn good defensive for him the last couple years.
Yeah.
So we'll see
Pionk's
how
been
it
more
goes.
than service. I think he's been pretty good.
That Midwest pipeline, and then players that are not from the area of Winnipeg, the Finnish players that they've drafted
And
and
heck,
kind of developed.
drafted
The
Hellebuck.
American and Net and Connor Hellebuck.
So
Because
anyway,
there was
he
there's that
convinced
whole
to
thing of,
stay.
Americans don't want to play
But-
in Canadian markets.
Well, they do.
but time out,
Definitely an
boys. I got
exception.
one remaining. I got to get ready here. Because I see the next 3 coming up. We made it, boys.
yes.
Trash can.
Yes, we'll agree.
If I had it my way, you would have gotten it out sooner, but
Uno,
Adam.
dos,
Not Trotz.
tres.
Yes.
Let's go.
no debate about Kevin Adams. I will say this. Sorry, buddy, there's no palm trees or low taxes in that garbage can, but enjoy it.
Here comes Vince saying "but" about Kyle Dubas. Go ahead, Vince.
Oh, you guys are putting Kyle Dubas in there.
Here's the thing. Here's the only thing I'll say with Dubas. This is the only thing you're going to hear. Pittsburgh's needed to rebuild for a while. They look like they're finally rebuilding. That's
Here's the
it.
problem.
Okay.
They
Now
did
here's
that
the thing.
after they traded for Eric Carlson.
When he
That
got
is
there,
the only thing. That is the only thing I'll say. The rest of it, I'm not going to
when
defend
he
it.
got there, they were looking for one final run, and then since it was blown up and exploded in his face, now it's let's
No, but
rebuild.
all the Kyle Dubas apologists said, "Oh, he didn't have a choice in this matter."
Hey, Nick, they did have one final run off a damn cliff. So
they didn't even make the playoffs with Dubas.
But let me talk about.
I think they needed that. I think they needed that punch in the face. I do think they did.
But
I think they needed it.
let's talk about this egghead in the middle here, who should have stayed as a coach. Because
Phil Jackson phenomenon.
The man
putting
we
him
wanted.
2 years only though? I'm
D'Lo,
hesitant
he has been a damn
him
train wreck.
I would go honest.
The main thing with Trotz is he doesn't have a plan. That's it. He's just doing what he does as coach.
Kirby?
I would go below mid, but
no, I'm not. No, horrible. Trash can.
I'd put him in the can. I'd put him in the can.
Because it's
Nick, can?
I think Barry Trotz. I think it was a bit reckless to spend as much money as he did on
Nick,
guys that age. Yeah,
Shea.
Now,
3-2,
I would not
can.
want to put Barry Trotz in the trash can. I'm not doing that, but it seems like the majority here are.
You want to hear? No,
I'm fine if you guys are.
No, hold on. No, you're going to say what I'm probably going to say, but I can't defend the head coach. I can't.
Kirby, this is what I was talking about on the phone with you. I knew you were going to say it's more the coach.
But here's the problem. The coach didn't put Ellie Tolvin in on waivers. The coach didn't put Dante Fabro on waivers.
Mm-hmm.
Coach didn't extend Alex Carrier and then trade him for Justin Barron 2 months later.
The coach didn't get
Barry Trotz did do the YouTube thing. There's no way that friggin' Bruno came in there and yelled at the team.
You said YouTube for a second. So the YouTube
YouTube concert.
They started a channel.
And he didn't get Brady Shea a 7x7. He didn't overpay for Steven Stamkos, who is now officially in Tim Thomas in a Dallas Stars jersey era of his career.
Yeah, but D'Lo,
at least Stamkos will probably at least remember it. I don't think Tim Thomas remembers like the last 3 years of his career.
D'Lo, I was watching different content from 1 year ago, and they had Barry Trotz after those signings, good, above average, like way up this board, and now he's going to be here. D'Lo?
Yes.
Yeah, he's not. He hasn't earned any sort of praise, even though it's only year 2. But just to put him in Kevin Adams' company, I don't know, man.
Hey,
I'll say this.
It's kind of harsh.
I'll say this. Cody, move Kevin Adams to the very bottom of the list.
Okay, that's fine.
Like, just
if I could say something on Kevin Adams,
32. We can all agree that's 32. There's no one worse.
Fair.
Okay.
No, but
if I could just say this on Kevin Adams, the talent he's accumulated and what he's done since he got to Buffalo with the talent accumulation alone, very impressive. The fact that he doesn't know what the hell to do with it and he screwed it up. It's kind of like what happened with it happened with Eichel and Reinhart. Now it's happening with Thompson and Tuck and all these and Turka and all these other guys. I don't understand. On paper, you look at the team, you're like, that's a top 3 team in the Atlantic. It should be, or not. They're the worst. But
it's Buffalo.
It's Buffalo.
It's
so I don't know.
Buffalo.
But we'll see.
But like, because listen to this 2021 Sabres roster, shall we?
Look away,
Ryan-
any Sabres
Sam
fans.
Reinhart, Jack Eichel, Taylor Hall, Rasmus Dahlin, Rasmus Ristolainen, Colin Miller, Dylan Cousins, Jake McCabe, Casey Middlestat, Brandon Montour, Henry Jokiharju, Kyle Okposo, Jeff Skinner, Tage Thompson. And you know who they had in that? Linus Ullmark,
Yeah, I mean,
who won the Vezina 2 years later.
Linus Ullmark.
that's
but
when he
Was
got there
statistically
originally,
one of the
right?
best seasons a goalie's had since the lockout.
Hey, you know what's funny about like Trotz being a trash can and Kirby trying to defend him or whatever? He traded a Kirby guy for basically nothing.
Did he trade Jankowski?
He traded Novak.
Oh, yeah. Oh, was that in
Yeah,
the
I don't
Bunting
really
trade?
get what the
Yes, he traded
Yeah,
Novak.
that was a
and
stupid trade. I'm like, why are you trading Novak for Bunting when Bunting's almost 30 and you're not getting
You
anything
can't
to help
defend
you?
this, Kirby.
You
You
need
That
to
was-
You would
rebuild.
think they want to get
That
younger.
was one of the best
Look
lines.
at-
you would
Yeah,
think
they
they
didn't
wanna
even get
get younger.
younger.
Look
You'd
at
think
Kirby.
they
He
wanna
just
get
can't
younger, and they
defend them.
don't.
Novak's younger than Bunting. They
I don't
didn't even get younger.
I just look Kirby just like I mean I can't
really like
defend.
that
All right, who's the next guy?
Nick,
Alvin,
who do you
is it?
think it is? I'll let you take a guess.
Is he new?
Nick, we already went through the new
Come on,
guys.
Nick.
3 years in. 3 years in.
Come on, Nick.
I think we should just let Nick announce the
I
rest of them.
can't see it.
Yeah, Nick.
Isn't that Alvin?
That's Patrick Alvin.
There you go,
Oh,
D'Lo.
yeah.
He is. Here's the thing about Alvin. I don't know where he starts and Rutherford ends.
He's got.
We'll put him smack bang in mid.
I think he's done a nice job.
Actually,
but
I
there's
think
a
mid
lot of-
is fair for
There's a
Alvin.
lot of things that aren't his fault that have occurred, and
Which
he's
is-
been. I feel bad for him.
well,
a bit,
including the fall off of freaking Elias Pettersson.
and JT Miller, that whole situation.
They picked the wrong guy. I'll stand on that.
I think Rutherford was stupid to go and do an interview where he basically just airs all the dirty laundry in the Globe and Mail. It's great. Good job. You know that thing you have called leverage? It's gone now.
Well, here's the thing. That's Rutherford, not Alvin. So we
Yeah, I
can't
know. I'm
put
not
that
putting
in.
that on Alvin. I'm just
Alvin.
saying it's like
I'll put him in
I
mid.
love Rutherford telling
stuck
like
with
this.
senile Jim
He's
Rutherford.
guilty by association with me.
Yeah,
Not-
so
not
we'll
a
just
thing.
put him in mid because the Canucks were a really good team. They should have beat Edmonton.
Cody, that's a good place to put him. A lot of people put him higher than that, and I don't.
No,
like
I think like right
I
there.
don't know how you can.
You know what? I'll switch him and Drury because I like him better than Drury. All right, Nick, who's the next
And
guy?
also, you have to keep in mind with
Don't do
Vancouver,
this to me.
it's a
yes,
Francesco Aquilini owned team, and that guy has no idea how to avoid
Is that-
meddling.
Is his first name Is his first name Jim?
No, it's not Jim. I don't think there are any more Jims on this damn list.
There are no more gyms.
I have no clue.
Come on, Nick.
There's
His
a
name is
Pat,
Craig.
John,
His
and
name is
Eric.
Craig Conroy. Okay.
Great Conrad.
Oh, I
And
think he's
you guys-
actually
hold
above
on,
average.
Hold on. I want to jump in here as the Calgarian. You guys take all in L. Cody, Nick, Vince, all of my co-hosts. You guys said this was going to be a bottom 3 team last year. What the heck is Craig Conroy doing? Move him up the board.
I'll put him
I
here.
think actually, you know what?
Kirby,
I'll put him with
Kirby.
Start him in or-
I'm
Kirby.
fine with that too.
Kirby.
Year 2.
You're sounding like a Flames fan.
No,
For
you
three,
guys
year
said
3.
like Kirby, this team's going to be
He
awful.
knows that bothers him. That's why I say it.
Put him with Steos. I think with what he's needed to do there. I think there was a tweet the other day, Kirby. I think you quote tweeted it. They've accumulated a lot of young talent, and they've gotten younger a bit.
You have to see how those trades are going to
Zane
happen.
Perek.
I think obviously more needs to be done, but you can see there's a vision there, and I think they have the right man in charge.
And they're having guys left, right, and center want out. And he's like, okay.
I'll be honest. I think I'd put Conroy ahead of Waddell just slightly, but I put him ahead of Waddell.
You guys
Fine with that.
moved him up.
All right.
I've moved him up. He did a good job.
All right.
And he
15
hired
million
a
in
good
cap
coach,
space too.
And
All right, Nick. Who's this next guy?
Is that Verbeek?
That's the guy I didn't know.
Not even close.
Cody,
Okay.
that's the guy I
Nick, if you don't,
Nepo baby.
This
that
is
help?
Stan Bowman,
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, that's
a
right.
weird pitch. That's a weird pitch.
and we're gonna put him right here.
Like, I don't really even
unbelievable, Nick,
recognize-
unbelievable.
Vince, I don't watch. Vince, I'm sorry, I don't focus on the draft. So
like the only good move he's
How,
had.
how do you not know who Stan Bowman is? He's the guy who always sounds like a drunk.
Vince, that picture confused me when I was watching.
This guy.
It's a horrible photo of them.
Every
If we were
single
just ranking them on their headshots, that's the worst headshot of the group. That's a horrible photo. He needs to sue the photographer.
It's his face.
Here's the thing on Bowman. He was hired as Edmonton's GM. He's only made one good move. That's the Jake Wallman trade.
Yeah, he's not good.
After that, it's just.
I think you should put him below Davidson. I'd put Davidson ahead of Bowman.
No, because Davidson just doesn't want to do anything. Nick, who's this next guy?
I don't know who the next guy is. Let me think.
Do you know who any of the next 6 guys are?
I do.
He knows who the second guy is.
That's a tough.
Yeah, I know who the third guy is.
Second guy wrong. Just ugh.
All right. So, but give me a guess. Who do you think this is?
Number 21.
I don't even know.
Come on, Nick. You took your third wife to watch him play. You've told me this story a million times.
That's not Chris Patrick in Washington. I don't know.
That's Tom Fitzgerald. Okay. Next. Man,
Panthers legend.
I'll put
on the hot seat. I would
bang
say
right here.
I put him above average. Actually, I put him above average.
I don't.
I have him in mid somewhere.
I think he had a really good offseason last year, and he fixed a lot of the problems that New Jersey had in the 23-24 season. You know, we knew what their problems were. He went and fixed them. They went to the playoffs.
You got Markstrom, but this team is soft. Jim even came on. He's a Devils fan, Cody. He told us.
Here's the thing about Fitzy. For every good move he makes about 2 or 3 bad ones. Like the Timo Meier thing has not lived up to it at all.
That is not panned out at all.
Do not get me started on Timo Meier. I'm just going to say,
on the hot
Kirby said it for years. They're frauds. They're soft. I mean, that's the hockey team he built. Kirby, take a look at that hockey team. That guy built it. I don't think it's anything special.
His hiring Keith maybe gave him an extra year or something, but
I think he should be gone.
I think his seat is warming up.
This next guy, I think, is above average.
If they're not in track to make the playoffs, then yes, his seat is warming up. But if they're once again,
yeah, right.
Okay.
If they make the playoffs again, they're not going to fire him. Let's be real.
I'm putting him above Conroy because
in the next year or two, he's going to be elite. He's done a really, really good job.
What a turnaround, eh?
When he got to San Jose, they were a shit show, and
they still are. But the problem is, he knows what he's turning. Because the biggest thing is
a plan.
Yeah, and
everyone was critical of it, or most people.
How were we going to be critical of him?
They were, like the national media, like TSN.
There's a reason why they're critical of him. I just can't say it on air. It's just.
Well, who's the better Briere right now? Cody?
What?
Who's the better Briere right now?
That one's an easy one. Kirby. So, some families, I'll make a Godfather reference for you because it is your generation of movies. Some families have a Michael Corleone, and some families also have a Fredo. Fredo runs the Dolphins, and Michael Corleone runs the Sharks. There you get. You got it. You get the metaphor.
Here's the thing with Mike and Chris. They both know how to get picks to start a rebuild. They both know how to do it. And they both have drafted kind of well with those picks.
I think Mike's done better drafting than Chris.
So far, he's done a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
I don't think he will let people push him around the way Chris does.
Well,
Chris lets Ross push him around. He let the coaches push him around. Mike Rear's not like that.
But we'll see here with Mike. Like the Jake Wallman thing is like the number one thing. They take a second round pick to bring him in, and they revitalize his career. And guess what? Turns into a first round pick.
The Wallman was brilliant.
And
even the Hurdle deal, which I thought was horrendous at the time.
I tried to tell you.
Okay,
been a good deal for them. Hurdle hasn't worked in Vegas, and they did flip the mediocre prospect. They got a Scarrow for it.
Okay, so here's what I'll say. I have a request. This next guy, nobody
request
talks
denied.
But Kirby Lupul.
Okay.
Kirby, go ahead.
All right, next up
Eric
here,
Tulsky.
for those who don't know, it's Eric Tulsky, the new GM, the analytic, that guy.
I'll tell you.
Kirby, you can say whatever you want. It's not going to bother me or make me rage quit the stream. Only Nick not recognizing Tom Fitzgerald would have made me rage quit the stream.
Okay.
Because Nick himself told me he knows
this
him.
guy comes from my background, and everyone on Twitter, they think they can get a job because this guy has a job. From hockey writer to GM, he was hired a decade ago. Became a GM over the last summer, previously.
Yeah, last summer.
I just think he's so overvalued on social media because everyone's trying to get into this bubble of analytics, and he's the new age Kyle Dubas. And fans that defend Kyle Dubas, they're defending Eric Tulsky. And I'm like, what did Dubas do in his past reincarnation in Toronto and what he's doing now in Pittsburgh? Tulsky, this lineup is being so overinflated. Keandre Miller, Nikolai Ehlers, they're even rationalizing what he did on the Rantanen deal. Why did Rantanen even go to Carolina to start with? He didn't even want to be there. And they're like, well, he got all these assets now. You got to move him up the board.
Assets for what?
He totally botch jobbed that. And people online defending this man, no way would he be defended. I'm sorry, Vince. No way he would be defended. He's a dinosaur, an old school GM, a rehash GM. But everyone, Mr. Analytics, he came from this background. Hey, maybe I can get this job one day. Mr. GMs out there, people armchair quarterbacks. That's the new age GM quarterbacks.
If I could just say one thing on his roster construction, I agree with you that the Rantanen thing, if you knew he wasn't going to sign there, you don't make the move. And I understand
it. He has horrible relations with people.
But here's the thing. It's number one, I like Logan Stankoven. I like Jackson Blake. Those are good players. They're not I think they're just a continuation of what you already have. And I think the problem continues to be the same. Nikolai Ehlers, Keandre Miller, in my honest opinion, are just Marty Necas and Brady Shea replacements. And even then, I don't think that team was good enough to win. You take a look at it. Stankoven replaces Gensel. Ehlers replaces Necas. Blake comes in. Miller replaces Shea. I don't think it's really anything better than what they've had before, and they haven't been good enough to win a cup the previous years. So they're not a better team now than at any point they were at their best the previous years. And I think you just take a look at it. It's you kind of made yourself maybe worse in some regards. You lose Mikko Rantanen, you lose Marty Necas. Nikolai Ehlers, he's a good player, but it's you already have that. You need a game break.
More of the same.
It's just more of the same. They're a good team. I think they have a hell of a coach, and I think that covers up a lot of it. I always said
that's what I was just going to say. I don't like this. Everyone's slamming Rod Brindamore now and praising Tulsky now. I don't agree with that.
And I don't like
I haven't seen people slamming Rod, to be honest.
And I don't like when they do when it comes. And
I haven't seen it.
In my circles,
I'm not saying it's not real. I'm just saying I haven't seen it.
Okay. And I don't like what they've done with the goaltending. I'm not really sure.
I'm there with you on that too.
What exactly the plan is. If you want to win, you need a goaltender. And Freddie Anderson playing 15, 20 games a year and relying on 890 save percentage from Kochetkov. And, when is he going to take that next step? And I think it's just a lot of good players. There's no superstar, and it's a well-coached team with a lot of good players, and they'll get squeezed out. Somebody will always be better than them. And
I want to make 2 points on Carolina.
Can we figure out where the hell to put this guy? Because I don't know where.
Everything I said, I'm willing to listen.
Maybe put him in mid, above Fitz, though. But anyway, my 2 points. The two things that Carolina needs: better goaltending. You don't need a guy who can play 60 games. You just need someone who can get you 50 starts and who can steal playoff games. Because, in this day and age, you don't need a goalie to play 65 games. And the other is be tougher to play against. No one looks at Carolina's roster and thinks about the bruises they're going to wake up with tomorrow morning. You look at it and you say, okay, that's a talented roster. That's a tough game because they're a good team.
And they do retrieve the puck well.
Because they're going to rough you up. They're tough because they're good.
They are high intensity. They do retrieve the puck well. But I also think being hard to play against is, number one, I think a little bit more physicality could help. And number two, getting an actual game breaker who could make it more difficult to play against. Yeah. Mikko Rantanen is exactly what they needed. It didn't work. Nikolai Ehlers.
Explain to Nick,
It didn't work because Rantanen is at his best in a rush-based offense, and Carolina basically doesn't run anything on the rush for offense.
Explain this to me how Rod Brind'Amour's system fits what Tulsky's vision is. I don't see it.
It's like two different things.
It does feel like two different things. Yeah.
Yeah, but
And I feel that, and I just feel like you're at the same place where if you can go get a game breaker, then it starts to change. But again, you need a goalie, you need a center, you need a game-breaking winger. There's a lot Carolina still needs because I think there's always going to be better.
They also need to get rid of the Kotkaniemi contract. They need to stop being. I can't say that word, I'll use a different word. They need to stop being cookie. They need to stop being candy ass and get rid of Jesperi Kotkaniemi. The guy sucks.
If you want my honest opinion,
you guys like where Cody has him there?
I think he's on the line between above average and mid. I'd either have a top end of mid, below end, above average.
Put him in too early to tell.
I won't argue if you place him.
I almost want to put him in too early to tell.
Not really.
You could do that, but I think if I were them, I'd take a hard look at Tage Thompson
because all of his big moves right now with Miller, with Ehlers,
one more person with Cody on that.
With Miller and Ehlers, we haven't shown it yet, and really they were handcuffed last year.
I'd like to have them ranked and then see them drop. So if you guys want to leave my
Tage Thompson to Carolina, that's what they need.
Realistically, I think he's probably right there with McFarland, if you ask me.
Right.
That's fair.
I
don't know if I drop McFarland down that low though.
McFarland's just right here.
Yeah, but okay.
Whatever.
He's what, 12?
I don't think he's that. I mean,
I would put McFarland ahead of Tulsky. I think
you give me $30 million and
let's just put him there. Let's and then we'll
you
drop
give me $30 million and a couple first-round picks. I can get.
I'm the one who's arguing to pull Tulsky back a few places. I didn't think that would be how this conversation would go.
Chris Patrick is next up here.
Above average.
I think he's in between McFarland and Briere for me.
To me, it's almost too early to tell. Isn't his first year on the job?
No, he was his
first year on the job. And he traded for Thompson. He got Dubois. He got Chikrin. 3 key guys that helped him win the Metro. And
I think this year tells us a little bit more.
Yes.
Yeah. I do feel like last year was kind of a bit of a sugar rush kind of team.
Yeah,
but Vince,
second for Sordiff was a kind of an eyebrow raiser.
That one is.
I'm not saying they're going to miss the test. I'm saying I think they're probably not going to win the Metro, but I do think Washington's a playoff team.
And Vince, we watched them in Washington, and they looked very good. I mean, you took a look at it. A lot of their young guys. There were some guys you don't usually get to see, especially in person. I was very impressed with guys like Rasmus Sandin and Connor McMichael. I mean, those are really impressive players, but I feel like everything just went right for them. Similar to how our President's Trophy year occurred, and that, people are going to come back down to earth a little bit. I think they were riding that Ovechkin goal chase
for sure.
thing a bit.
And they won around.
D'Lo, you had some stuff on him quickly?
No, it wasn't me. I don't think.
Okay. All right, Nick, who the hell is this next guy?
I know who the guy after him is, and I knew who Patrick was.
You don't know this guy?
Oh, come on, Nick.
He looks so familiar.
Oh, my God.
Trying to think.
And that's the bad thing.
This infuriates me more because I've seen this guy in person multiple times.
And this guy's been around. And this guy sure as hell ain't new. It's Don Sweeney.
Yeah, that's right.
I took him off.
Nick.
I can't really see. I guess my eyes.
It's so tough to rank
glasses.
Let's be real. It's so
Kirby. You're the sponsorship guy. Call up an eye doctor. Get them to sponsor the channel and give Nick some glasses.
Where you get your friends?
The last thing on Carolina, second line center, get one. Anyone.
Them and
He turned, yeah.
Just
I agree with Kirby. I don't care. He signed an extension. He's on the hot seat. And you know who else signed an extension and got fired? Bannister in St. Louis. We've seen guys get extensions and then fired very
But
shortly
that was
after.
an interim
Boston
to a
Bruins
coach.
Boys Club.
Listen, he is.
Sweeney's a former Bruin. Bruins Boys Club.
I think
where's the
it's
banner?
just his time. He's run his course there. I
Longest
think
tenured look.
they need to go a different direction. I'm not as low on him
Not
as
below, man.
Boston Bruins Boys Club.
Pasternak was what, 2014, right, Vince?
he's
Correct.
better than Stan Bowman. If you want my
His
if you
first
want-
draft was
the Sension DeBrusk.
Memorial DeBrusk and Senishin disaster.
I was at that draft.
And then-
better than-
And by the way, I'll spoil this for you. His drafting doesn't get much better in the first round after that.
Is he better than Yzerman?
Hell yeah,
Yes.
everybody.
Okay, I
think
guess
he's
you could.
better.
I
I
didn't
think
think
he's.
hell yeah.
I think he is.
Fair. This last guy, I think, is Pat Verbeek. By the way,
Just gonna.
there you go. I agree with that.
Got one.
Yeah,
Got one.
Yeah, that's about right for Verbeek.
Delos, like,
I
thank
mean-
God.
What do you
Got
mean?
one.
What's funny is kind of like Yzerman, which is, of course, they were teammates and they were coworkers for a long time. Verbeek's free agent signings have, for the most part, been flops. Killorn, Vetrano hasn't worked. Strome didn't work.
I'd argue Vetrano's worked pretty well.
No, in his defense, he tried.
Udis is probably
Judas
worked
hasn't
out.
been bad.
Tried to
But-
get
He's worked
guys
out.
2 summers ago, but he just wasn't able to do
He's
it.
the one guy who's like always swinging and missing on everyone.
But he's
and-
swing-
He was all in on Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner doesn't,
think he's
which I
taken better
thought was
swings than
Marner
Davidson.
doesn't seem like a Verbeek kind
And
of
Aaron
player.
Ekblad, Kirby, there was that report Aaron Ekblad in Anaheim where
Yeah,
yeah.
it,
Look at the
And-
coach they just
and-
got now.
Yeah. Oh.
and
do
they
they
tried for
expect to make the playoffs next
and they
year?
tried for
Clearly.
Stammer.
They did, because there's a connection. He
But
worked
here's
with
the problem:
Verbeek.
he's too busy trying to build the damn Anaheim Rangers. I mean, damn, Vetrano, Strome,
Truba.
freaking Truba,
Right.
And Chris Kreider now.
Kreider. Like, damn.
So Nick, you would have him a little higher. I might, but I'm fine with him on that.
I'm fine with him there. I think he needs to prove.
You think he's higher than Briere?
I think he
No,
could.
I
don't
wouldn't put him above Briere.
That's an interesting one for me.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
We'll revisit this.
I don't even know if I would. I don't even know if I'd have him above Davidson, because I feel like Chicago has a better future.
Because they suck more. Like,
I put all of those guys in the same category.
at least Verbeek tries to do something. Davidson's just like this.
Briere could be fired this year.
I doubt that.
Former Flyer,
Who are they
dude.
going to go
Come
get?
on.
Ken Holland? Ken Holland's going to go to Philadelphia?
Would you
Yeah,
say? Would you say he's
Kirby,
drafted well?
what former Flyer are they going to get
Oh,
this
Verbeek?
time?
Yeah,
They're going to
but
call up Kevin Connaughton?
Vince, did you hear D'Lo's question?
What is
Leo
Leo
Carlson,
Would
I
you say
guess,
he's
but who
drafted
else?
well?
Who?
So far?
Who?
Verbeek.
We're on.
That's the
Is that- I
thing,
mean,
because I have
Well,
his
they're in
pick
a
for the
rebuild, so you
most
kind
part
of
here.
have to judge them on stuff like that.
Mintyukov
right?
was his first pick. Not bad. Nathan Gaucher, I don't think he'll be much. Carlson, I like. Seneca, I think will be good, but not worth the third
I'm gonna
overall
take this
pick.
time
Hold
to
on,
say-
I'm not sure. And
I'm gonna-
McQueen is so high risk, high reward that
I'm gonna
that
say
could be a great pick. It also could be a
I'm
complete
gonna
flop.
take- I'm going to take this time to say, fuck Jackson Lacombe. I don't give a damn if he's good. Fuck that
I
guy.
didn't mention Jackson,
Why?
Lacombe, did I?
Because I hate the knee on knee hit, and he stuck
Oh.
his leg out. And
It
he went
was
knee on knee
3 years ago.
Okay, first off, it was the game we got Montour and Ekblad back, and the freaking 2 periods into that, this guy freaking gets knocked out.
Markov didn't even miss any
Cody, you know
time.
Nick well enough to know he never lets go of a grudge.
Just like Cody's not going to forgive Mason Marchment for running.
Nick
into-
probably hasn't even forgotten the kid in kindergarten that didn't give him animal crackers or something.
I don't remember kindergarten, believe it or not.
And
Well, yeah, it was 80
It was-
years ago for you.
Kind of like how Losterinen ran into Marchman.
Yes, I just said that.
Okay,
yeah,
No one's hearing me.
Let me know when Marchman's damn near point per game in the playoffs. Oh wait, never happened.
Well, Jackson Lacombe hasn't even made the playoffs, so
Yeah,
there's
but he's
that.
but he's damn near it's probably like another year away from being a top 25 defenseman.
Yeah, fuck him.
What do you think of it?
Stop signing over the Hill Rangers, Pat.
Who,
Is
Kreider?
Granlund gonna help?
I forgot about Grant. I mean, he can't hurt.
He can't hurt, yeah.
Like,
And Dostal and Mrazek there.
Huso, Mrazek, yeah.
Oh, that's right. They have like
replacement
13
goalies.
That's a goalie tandem. Yikes.
Mrazek and Dostal.
hey, Dostal, get
Okay,
ready to learn.
Dostal's good.
They also
Dostal's
signed
fine.
Huso for some reason.
Yeah, Huso will probably get some reps there
Hey.
for sure.
Dostal, get ready to learn 55 games, buddy.
Okay, before we end
Like
here-
they didn't have him do that last year.
before we end
Edits.
here, everyone, look at the board. Any last changes? Because then it goes up.
Should Bill Zito get his own tier?
If you want to give him his own tier,
I
sure.
would.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm a Zito stuff.
We have so
I
many.
feel
in the
like here's the thing. I don't want to seem like too much of a homer.
I have a
like,
question.
Sure, if you want to give him his own tier, yeah.
I have a question. Because we have so many in above average, I'll make this motion. I'm willing to move up Cheveldayoff.
I don't want to move up Cheveldayoff.
Where do you have Shovel Day off now?
Front end of above
I
average.
don't want to, but
I would move Tulsky down to mid if you're
I
gonna
would.
be subtracting from above average.
I kind of agree with D'Lo.
I almost want to put Tulsky
But
in too
I
early
do
to
think-
tell.
Shovel Day off is so close to that elite line that if you wanted to just put him above it,
I have an
I
idea.
wouldn't disagree with you.
Why don't we put Steve Yzerman where the hell he belongs?
There's
FSU Trash
something
Can.
to be said for a guy who has managed to keep a job for 14 years, and Shovel Day off isn't anywhere near a hot seat, in my opinion.
I will do Nick a favor. I can't believe I'm saying this. Cody made it so easy for me. He really gave me an assist there. I didn't have to fight for it. If you want to switch Dubas with Yzerman, I'm willing to do it, but
I am not.
okay.
Kirby being nice to Kyle
All
Dubas
right,
is
I'm watching.
I
a
don't know what we're doing
miracle
here.
I'm
tonight.
so loyal to him somehow.
Because here's the thing. For any listeners out there who don't know Kirby's beef with Kyle Dubas could save a burning orphanage on Christmas Eve, and Kirby will still bitch about him on the internet.
Behind
That's how deep this runs with him.
Now
Those
Dubas
computer boys.
Dubas could
Yeah, but
save
they
the
didn't like him either. He told them off. in a lot of-
Dubas could save the orphanage,
Damn
and
right he
Kirby
did.
will complain about how long it took him to get there. But like,
Well, Kirby, he took the C train. How like what do you expect him to do? He had to take the C train.
No, I'm just saying there's no way we're moving Yzerman down. Are we really being this naive?
Nick's gonna remember this.
I'm going to remember this. When he gets fired, and oh man, I can't.
Hey, at least remember what I said.
I see a move to a front office before they fire him.
he is
Yeah,
in the
No
front
like,
way
office.
the
that's
Red Wings
the
are gonna
thing.
fire him.
That's
No
the only
chance.
thing with like I'm not sure how much of a hot seat Yzerman is on because like the legacy in Detroit.
Yes.
Photos
Like,
everywhere
it's
at
not-
that place.
It's
Oh,
kind of
you know
like
what?
I'll keep make an analogy to another Michigan team. Not saying they're going to end up doing what this Michigan team did, but it's kind of like all those people that said, "Oh, Michigan's got to fire Jim Harbaugh. Harbaugh's not going to get them anywhere." I'm not
guys-
saying that. I'm not saying that means Yzerman's taking to a championship the way Harbaugh did, but it was like, come on, everyone knew Michigan
Hot
wasn't going
take,
to actually.
Harbaugh
fire
never had
Jim
any
Harbaugh.
damn luck.
You guys are exactly like the Red Wings front office. You're all caught up with Detroit Red Wing playing days, Steve Yzerman, that you just refuse to see. He is one of the worst GMs in
Guilty.
the NHL.
Charge me with whatever you want, Nick.
Don't
Charge me with
Fine.
looking at what
There's
he
a
did in
friggin'
Tampa Bay.
statue of Yzerman outside of that arena. man.
Charge
There's
me
no
with
way
looking at
he's
what he
getting
did in
fired.
Tampa Bay. I think he tried to do the same thing he did there. It just hasn't worked out the same way.
Well, Rob Blake was
He
in
took
the
Tampa to a conference finals in what, his second year with what, Steve Downey on
I
that
think
team?
Rob Blake
He
was
might
a
not be
better
cut out
GM
for
than
it.
Steve Yzerman.
Oh, that's a lot.
I mean,
Okay, now we're tripping big time, big dog.
no, I don't.
Yzerman has never had a trade as bad as the Dubois. one.
Nick, you should start tweeting more and start
But
tweeting.
but this is it right here. This is the
Yeah,
thing.
I think this is it.
But honestly,
Okay.
like
These guys, they're Steve Yzerman lovers here, guys.
Oh,
So remember
come
that. When he gets fired, and you guys go back
You-
to watch this video,
Nick,
remember
do
where I
you
am.
really
it.
think the Ilitch family will fire Steve Yzerman? You really think that?
No
We'll
chance.
give him a promotion.
Yeah, that's what will happen. They'll
Promote
move him
Yeah,
up.
I can see that. But Kirby,
you're not on my side here. Hold on.
Will actually be fired.
I'm the closest on your side. I don't know how close. But...
Like, what do they do if they promote him to president of hockey? Do they make Chris Draper the GM?
I want to say this.
You can draft.
For somebody that bitches at Dale Talon the way you do, Vince, you sure are awfully light on Steve Yzerman. Dale Talon's a better GM with the Panthers than
Because
Steve
you know
Yzerman.
why?
Oh, that's
Because
I am your guy.
Dan Allen was easily better than Steve. Easily.
Come on.
I maintain that. No, I'm not. I don't even want to dignify. I feel like you're trying to rage bait me with that one. I feel like you are trying to rage bait me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fall for it. I'm not going to fall for it. I'm not going to fall for it.
Player?
Make your argument. I'm not falling for it.
What core player has Steve Yzerman brought in? And you talk
Lucas
about
Raymond. Lucas Raymond and more insider.
Okay. You talk about
Davidson.
You talk about Dale Talon with bad signings, right?
He had terrible signings, yeah.
What about Steve Yzerman?
Yzerman had terrible signings.
The worst.
He made terrible signings. That's the problem I have with them. That's the main problem with Yzerman. His free agent signings in Detroit have been bad.
What has he done for trades compared to what Talon did for trades?
He got DeBrincat. How'd that work out?
Not been that good.
Come on, Vince.
What did Ottawa get out of that? What did Ottawa get out of Alex DeBrincat?
Dude, I'm sorry. He's a FSU Trash Can GM. That's it.
No.
I'll be right. You guys will find. You'll find out soon enough.
We are arguing between Trash
20
Can
games in, Steve Yzerman let go as Red Wings GM.
So who's the next Red Wings GM? Because they're gonna pick is it Chris Draper? Is it Chris Draper?
How about we put you in there? See how you do.
I'll take it.
And then you can't bitch.
Don't mind.
And then you don't bitch about the situation you were given because Stevie Wise.
Oh no, I get to inherit Axel Sandin Pellikka and 3 possible future goalies on the way. Oh no,
this guy's Sandin Pellikka.
I get to inherit Ray Augustine.
He better be really.
I remember how you hold Vince to the Seth Jones trade.
Seth Jones.
You're sitting here telling me like. Okay.
I just want to point out. I just want to point out.
Hate to break it to you, rookie Axel Sandin Pellikka ain't bringing Detroit to the playoffs.
I just wanted to point this out. These are the 2 guys I want Paul Maurice fired the most.
And I own that.
I owned it too.
And I own
Kirby has the tapes. I owned it.
And me and Kirby wanted Seth Jones. Cody, you could say you did, but you didn't always.
I told you why I didn't.
I on that too. I don't care.
I told you why I didn't, and I'll stand on why I didn't.
Let's just do that. For that. So just for the Maurice thing.
But what's the bigger deal? Me not wanting Seth Jones, or you wanting to fire Paul Maurice?
Paul Maurice. That I was a little bit impatient there, but
it's funny.
I made up for that.
What's funny is Kirby's biggest L's aren't even in hockey. Really, they're in freaking football.
Oh, I was going to say Ratko Gudas and Eric Stahl. I'll take those L's.
Yeah, those 2, but your football L's are horrible. Anthony Richardson MVP candidate. I mean, good lord.
God.
Rats League this year.
Kirby.
If we're gonna start talking about football,
that was not a guy you start right away.
Okay,
the Colts fucked up. Anthony Richardson is a guy you do to him what they did to Steve McNair. You let him sit for a few years, and then he's ready. You don't throw him in as a rookie.
I'll be on Lamar Jackson for not getting it done in the playoffs.
Okay, I'm going to be honest with you.
Anthony Richardson won't even make it to the playoffs.
I bought into the Anthony Richardson hype. I did.
I didn't.
I did.
You want 1 year as a starter?
I'm not just going to throw him out, yeah. But I don't like.
Everybody said he was like Cam Newton.
He was nowhere near like Cam.
I don't know.
I never put him.
Cam Newton won a Heisman. Did he? Thought he did. He should have.
He did. He won a Heisman.
Cam Newton took Auburn to the national. He made Gene Chizik look like a good head coach. You're telling me Anthony Richardson is fit to carry that guy's shoes?
Anyway, folks, we appreciate having Vince and D'Lo on here today. This has been going on a lot longer.
That's the maddest you got me all night, trying to compare Anthony Richardson to Cam Newton. That's the maddest you got me all night.
Can I point something out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Something out before we wrap. I'm sorry. I know you're going
to ahead.
Wrap. I didn't hear Cody flip out a single time tonight.
There was nothing to flip up.
I agree. I know it was a kind.
Something's up with Cody. Something's wrong.
Rap.
You guys just don't even know.
Cody didn't get mad at me, so it's usually
there was nothing to get mad at.
The mic did not pop.
I came in very calm today.
Oh, there's
I guess
reasons
the
for
GM
that.
is
The
kind
only
of,
time Cody ever really kind of broke ranks or anything is when Nick did his Mike Tyson impersonation and Cody broke the laughter wall.
Oh,
Well,
right.
Vince, if anybody could take over a mic, it sure is you. Anyway, folks.
Yeah, like, and and a person that forgets to turn on their mic is surely you. Like,
There we go.
Go
like,
ahead, Cody, wrap us up.
But
please.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching here. We appreciate you guys joining in. Once again, thank you for 1,000 subscribers. Once again, we do have we have announced the 2 contest winners. They will be put in the description here or in the first comment section down below. Please stay tuned for any future giveaways we may have. It'll probably be the next podcast episode or the next live stream with the club tickets and including the future and the Nico Mikula JSA certified autograph picture. Once again, shout out to our sponsors, Caneswear and Jeremy Beckham, Next Home Treasure Codes. And remember, tax-free week, you can go to Caneswear. If you do live in Florida, at their store on University in Davie, Florida, can go in there and go get you some clothes tax-free, some Stanley Cup
Also,
Championship merch.
if for anything else with Caneswear, just give me a second here.
The 10% coupon there.
So there is a 10% coupon at Caneswear and Davie. They're offering a 10% coupon for from August 10th, from August 1st to August 10th, either online or in person. Just provide the code TEACH10. Also, 20% off the Hobby Card Show August 23rd and August 24th using the code BTU2025.
So basically, you guys have 4 days to redeem that code. So I think you should guys go right
we'll
in
put
and do
that
it.
in the link.
Offer does not extend to Buffalo, New York. Sorry, Kevin Adams.
But anyway, like you get like the college football season's here. Caneswear in the name. Like maybe do you want some new merch?
Yep.
Maybe you want some Stanley Cup Championship merch, like Kirby is right here is wearing the shirt and the hat.
Yep. Some Dolphin stuff too, Cody.
I was just getting to him. Maybe you want a new Makeup Fitzpatrick jersey if you never got one. Go grab you one.
Oh, my favorite item from Caneswear is those Hurricanes backpacks. Oh, I don't even know if they have any left.
Yeah, and unfortunately, football season's right around the corner for me and Kirby. So hold that trash can up, Cody, for me and Kirby.
For us.
I mean,
No.
listen, at least you guys saw your team win a playoff game. But anyway, appreciate everyone for watching. Once again, thank you for 1,000 subscribers. Shout out to our boys Vincent Shipe, and D'Lo for joining us here today. And as we sign off here, and as always, let's go Cats.
What's up, Cats and Rats fans? If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button before you head out. If you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. And just like always, let's go Cats!